Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. I'm taping an album, guys, an album, a special, whatever you guys want to call it. Some of you have been giving me flack, calling me a boomer for calling it an album. But January 6th, I am recording an album at Governor's in Levittown, and I'm doing a bunch of shows leading up to it to prepare. I'll be with Comedians of the Compound December 11th at Tiff's Ale House in Morris Plains. Then I'll be headlining the Hartford Funny Bone December 12th. Then December 13th, I'll be at the Looney Bin in Little Rock, and then back to Texas December 15th and 16th at Hyenas in Dallas with Aaron Berg and Anthony Cumia, and then a couple more dates before that album recording. So I want to see you guys there. Buy your tickets, all that good stuff. Quick shout out to my sponsor. Standalone is a new Substack by Melissa McCutcheon, an artist and former professor who quit due to the corruption of academia. She publishes at least once a week on topics designed to offer some hope and insight into the bizarre groupthink world we're currently living in. You can subscribe at standalone.substack.com. It's free, and there are some really valuable bits of advice regarding individual empowerment and ways to stay true to your principles in the face of adversity. She just published a piece about the wave of resignations we're seeing in response to the vaccine mandates for companies with 100 or more employees, and she weaves in the story of her own decision to leave academia. So go read and subscribe at standalone.substack.com. All right. Very excited to bring in this panel today. You've seen them all on previous episodes, so you know them, you love them. I'm going to bring in our first guest. She's a sassy internet provocateur. I don't know how to intro you. Ashton Birdie, welcome to the show. Nice to have you again.
Thank you for having me.
Next guest is the host of Get Off My Lawn on Censored TV, Gavin McInnes. Nice to see you again, sir. Also, the best dressed male guest I've ever had on the show. For now. And last but not least, he is half of the In Hot Water show on Compound Media, Geno Bisconte.
Hey.
Boo!
Your mic is on. I can hear you, Gavin. I can hear you.
I thought it was just like I was going.
I was saying boo earns. No one gets
boo
that.
earns. So we're all gathered here today. I'm sure a lot of our listeners and viewers know who Marc Maron is, but to give a little bit of background on him, he's basically, I don't know, I think of him as like the Oprah of the podcasting world. He started out kind of at the bottom. He was, I don't know, kind of a pioneer, one of the first comics to have kind of a really big popular podcast. And now it seems, according to his most recent episode of his WTF podcast, it seems like he's kind of, to me, came off very anti-free speech. And it pisses me off. And we're going to do a live listen to it all. It pisses me off because it seems like he's changing his tune now that he has all this success to protect and a name to protect. And to me, it kind of feels like pulling up the ladder with you. You've reached the top. Nobody else can do what you did. And I know, Gavin, you had a little bit of experience with him and a story that is pretty interesting to share.
Yeah, so Marc Maron personifies LA. And LA is, I will kill my own mother to get a gig, to get a movie, to get anything. So you're dealing with the lowest dregs of humanity. It's very rare that anyone there can like get married, have a kid, have a normal life. They're all fucking parasites who fuck young girls. And
I'm in. I'm buying. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
you talk.
Sign me up.
Some of them exist in New York, believe it or not. But what's particularly galling about Marc Maron is he has this whole kvetching stereotype of like, oh, I'm so fucked up in the head. I don't know what's going on. I'm broken. I need therapy. It's sort of like the guy from Curb, Richard Lewis. It's like, oh, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm nuts. So what he does is he gets an intern that's like 21, fucks her brains out. She thinks, oh, okay, I'm dating Marc Maron now. And then he's like, I got to break up with you. I'm so crazy. I don't know what's going on. Oh, this thing. I got to talk to my therapist. This thing's broken. And then he moves on to the next chick. Like, at least, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, these other Hollywood people are honest. And they're just like, I like fucking young girls. And you turned 26 and that's gross. So I'm going now to a 22-year-old again. Like, they have no bones about it. But Mark has managed to pitch himself as like this wonderful. He's part of that whole Boston scene. Janine Garofalo, David Cross, Louis C.K., even fucking what's his name that keeps bitching about white women?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr. He's part of that whole scene. He moves to L.A. and then he does the podcast thing, and then he starts smelling that political correctness is the way to go, and he starts running with it. So I met him around then. This would be like 10 years ago. And he was just realizing that it was time to say fuck you to the edgy background he had and move on to woke politics. Now, you still get to fuck young girls as long as you pretend that you got this crazy brain. Oh, this brain, it's not you, it's me. Oh, yeah, I got to keep fucking chicks. So,
I'm so neurotic.
I'm so neurotic. I need more blowjobs. It's crazy.
That always calms my boyfriend down.
What is it with me? I need more blowjobs from 21-year-olds. This brain of mine. So I did WTF because I was promoting my movie, How to Be a Man. And we had an argument in his stupid little fucking garage where he shoots the show. And we were talking about education and how it's systemic and blah, blah, blah. And I go, no, it's not systemic. Education sucks because you can't fire teachers. Public schools are a mess. We've been spending this much money, a 45-degree angle from 1950 till now, and the grades have not budged because it's communist. You can't fire teachers. And he goes, well, no. It's intrinsic in the society and the parents and blah, blah. And he goes, it's not like there's one magical fix that could fix all of education. And I go, yeah, there is, Mark. Make it possible to fire a teacher. It's called charter schools. It's called the free market. If you can fire a teacher, they stop being so fucking incompetent. And then there was silence after that. And I fucking freeze-dried the guy on his own podcast. So then I go, is that going to air soon? Because the movie's coming out. And he's like, oh, we're still adjusting. I'm still the woman who I face fuck, who's 22 years old that I'm constantly lying to, is still re-editing it. And
I've been having problems with the woman that I face fuck. It's weird. It's weird how that happens.
At least the woman you face fuck are your age.
Oh, you're adorable. You're
Roughly.
adorable. All right, back.
So then I did this article called Transphobia is Perfectly Natural, where I clearly stated and proved that they're not different genders. They're just mentally ill gays. And that blew up. It went viral. I lost my ad agency. I got fired, blah, blah, blah. And then Marc Maron was able to say, oh, I canceled the podcast because we hadn't covered the trans thing. And I didn't know he was a transphobe. And if we had covered the transphobia, then I would have released it. So that was all a lie. He didn't release it because I fried him on education, which isn't very sexy. But he chose the sexy route and said, we canceled it because of that. Because he's a fucking Bolshevik. He's a lying piece of shit, self-indulgent shit for brains, who will do anything he can to get ahead. And that includes throwing everyone under the bus when it comes to free speech. You get to a certain level, and then you say, fuck you. Howard Stern's the same way. He says, Alex Jones shouldn't have said that shit about Sandy Hook. He fucked up.
You mean the guy who literally made a girl have an orgasm over the phone? Like, made her sit on her, like, I think it's like happened in the 90s. Like, he sat on like, the stereo.
Yeah, the Sibian.
And, like, but Alex Jones is too inappropriate, you guys.
I've been saying
I gotta try that sometime.
I've been saying, and a lot of people have, that, you know, it's fun to watch the left fall all over itself. But the new thing that we get to watch the left trip over is the lines they draw that keep winding up behind them. Like Howard Stern doing that. Howard Stern watching a chick jerk off and calling him Gary the retard, and suddenly, he can't say retard, and that did. And my new favorite is Jimmy Kimmel, who sits there and dances like a goddamn monkey and says, well, the reason Kamala Harris is at 27% approval rating, well, aside from misogyny and racism, what do you think's worse? What do you think's worse? Like the shifting, being in LA as everything shifts and just clinging on for life and saying stuff that you don't even believe, or God forbid, even worse, that you believe it. And you got to be to a place where like, I'm hosting a late night show for a country that is racist and misogynistic. They get to just sit there and be like, oh, the line's behind me now. And I've just got to throw everyone fucking under the bus so no one notices. It's a fucking party. It's a party to watch for normal people.
I never realized how much the media loved cops until Kamala Harris came around. Because like they always want to point out the misogynist and the racism card, but they never want to point out the fact that maybe people don't like her because she literally put innocent men in jail for having marijuana personnel. You know, these people hated cops.
If it ever makes it to Kamala's actual policies, which suck shit, it's like Obama. Ask anyone who voted for Obama. Like back in when did he win? 2008. What was your favorite policy of his that you voted for? And it's just black.
He was a black man. I would have, my parents are the epitome of, I would have voted for Obama for a third term if I really could. It's like these are people who literally,
I voted for him. I didn't know any better.
But these are people who protested. These are people who protested.
He was my
it's
favorite
never
thing.
been black people though. That's the
my
funny
favorite
thing.
thing my grandma ever said. She would come back from church every Sunday. She'd be like, Chrissy, I made a new friend at church. He's black but nice. And that's my favorite thing she's ever said. That's also how
so she lied to you?
She described Obama that way. So it's interesting. Gavin's story kind of points to, you know, around the time that Marc really started getting a lot of mainstream success, he started really putting the brakes. And that's the thing is like, you can have guests on your show who don't have to agree with you on every point. Like what would be so terrible about him airing your episode, Gavin, being like, after the fact or in the intro being like, yeah, I don't agree with Gavin on X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
we have different opinions.
Charter schools is not like a white supremacist trope either. It's a pretty normal, it's slightly right of center, I guess, but charter schools are pretty mainstream, especially in black communities. They're good for black communities. It's not a racist thing. You fucking loser.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this was I noticed this episode because it came out on my birthday on Thursday. Aww. This is Marc Maron's, I think it's his latest episode, number 1278, canceled comedy with Cliff Nestoroff and David Bianculli. This is the description. Marc is trying to get to the bottom of something. What does it mean to be canceled in comedy? It's something comedians have always worried about. Oh, is it something comedians have always worried about? What does actual censorship in comedy look like? Who or what is traditionally responsible for censoring the comedy world? Marc talks to a comedian. First, I thought this guy was a comedian. He's not. He's a comedy historian. This Cliff Nestoroff.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone want to take a guess? And I don't have the answer. What makes you a comedy historian? You know what a comedy historian is now? And Chrissy, you'll agree. And I don't know if you've hung out there lately. It's these kids that hang out at the table at the Comedy Cellar now. When it used to be Nick DiPaolo and Patrice and Bill Berg busting everyone's balls. Now it's these comedy historians saying, "Oh, when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to go out and get the new Richard Pryor album. I couldn't really."
Like comedy nerds. There were a lot of
is that what a comedy historian is? Someone who studies comedy and they think, it drives me insane.
I think it's somebody who positions themselves to be a judge of comedy. I mean, it's one thing to kind of like literally be a historian and be like, these are the dates these comedians were alive. But I think that this guy's career is based off like the judgment of talent or whatever.
Yeah, he's a chuckle fucker. But they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They talk about the history of comedians complaining they can't say anything anymore, which I find is a common way the left kind of sums up anybody who thinks differently than them. Like, these right-wing comedians, they would say of like all of us. They always say they can't say anything more when it is so much. They can't
say the N-word at old ladies. They can't go up to some black lady and call her the N-word and shove her down the stairs.
Gavin, I appreciate you saying the N-word and stuff. That means a lot. All right, so we're gonna listen.
He's trying to trick me.
I appreciate that so much. Anyway, that irritates me because there's so much more to it than that. And so I'm gonna play this episode. I think.
Folks, Avast has been a global leader in stopping in the middle of meeting. Be on a dated kind of show. Make mistakes. But I hope in general, you're taking care of yourself and you do some nice things for other people. That's
All right, so
That's my message.
This is right after the ad reads. He goes right into this topic.
I guess this is a kind of show we do occasionally where I've got something on my mind. The culture has something on its mind. There are things happening. They coincide, and we figure out a way to discuss them a little bit. I've had a problem for a while, and this is going back a year or two. Even more, maybe. Once comedians started complaining that they couldn't say things, that there was they were being stifled, or they were being told not to speak freely, or they were afraid to say things, or they were going to get in trouble if they said things, and just this idea that there was censorship on a day-to-day basis in a comedy club, or just that they were somehow being shut down, the comics. And it always sort of annoyed me. And then it kind of evolved into this weird kind of anti-progressive, anti-woke comedy that just plays into this whole
It doesn't exist.
Pause it. Can I say
this? I'm already annoyed.
wait. So just like, here's the thing, my issue with all this is that nobody's against progressive comedy. People are against shit comedy. And it just so happens that every progressive comic is shit. Yeah. If there was a progressive comic out there that was actually funny, I love them, but there's not. And so we've got Amy Schumer and like, what's this one lesbian chick who looks like a Thundercat?
Nanette?
Like, yeah, that chick. She's not funny. She's not
but
funny.
Here's the other thing too. We don't mind that progressive comedy exists. Why is it the only thing that exists? If you go to a comedy club right now, there's Trump is the devil, 2016 sucked, fucking racists are everywhere, the insurrection, like it's all that. There's no real Trump comics. I mean, there's fucking Geno and Aaron Berg and this legions of skanks and stuff. Those guys are very esoteric. And at the Stand, like tonight at New York City, or the Comedy Store in LA, they're not doing jokes like that. It's verboten. That's our beat.
No. And I just had this conversation with you last night, Chrissy, because this week was the New York Comedy Festival, and I've been here 20 years, okay? And I'm lucky because I just do what I want to do and say what I want to say. I'm not rich, I'm not famous, but I pay my bills, and I source I'm not trying to sell you a Dianetics book. I source my income from just doing what I want and saying what I believe. And and luckily, I don't need to try and even wrap my brain around the business model that the New York Comedy Club is still a part of, which touches upon what you guys just said. That
you mean the New York Comedy Festival, like the overall, not the one club. Yeah,
the New York Comedy Festival. Thank you, Chrissy. And I don't have to try and wrap my brain around this old model, which brings into what you guys just said. Well, progressive comedy is the only thing that won't get me canceled. And if I want to get a sitcom, then I have to say stuff that's progressive and woke, and it's not funny. And I can't even wrap my brain around how people want to be a part of that, let alone could be passionate about it, you know?
Right. And no one is against, well, I can only speak for like myself, right? Like I think myself and a lot of other comics, no one is against being empathetic to someone's in real life, right? People are conflating the rules of comedy and the rules for like waking polite life. Like if you're working with somebody who's disabled, you're not going to push them over in their wheelchair. You know what I mean? If there's a blind person crossing the street, you'll probably help them and you're not going to make fun of them. And it's like, but all bets are off in comedy. And I think there's a confusion between like evolving as a society and being nice to people and whatever, maybe being like, okay, we're going to make it a point to get more girls into STEM. There's a difference between like a conscious, productive sort of inclusion, even though I fucking hate that word, and comedy. All bets are off with comedy. The only thing that you should not be saying is the thing that doesn't get laughs. And it's so simple.
And Christy, it's funny you mentioned that because the more they try making certain things taboo, the funnier it is. That's what makes comedy comedy. And the funny thing about what's going on right now is that what pisses me off isn't even so much, well, you know what, I'm uncomfortable with things. It's not so much the uncomfortability. It's where the line is being drawn and the fact it's constantly moving. Because when I did comedy, like I want to say like when I was 18 or 19 years old, I had plenty of jokes that people thought was hilarious making fun of feminists. And this was in San Francisco, this was in Oakland, this was in Berkeley. And back then people didn't seem to care back in 2013, 2014. But then 2 years later, it was like, oh, you can't make those same jokes anymore. It's like, this wasn't like a difference of 50, 60 years. This was a difference of 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem, is they're constantly moving the line every other month. And it's like, just please give us some leg room.
That's the annoying thing about what Mark is saying right now. He's saying, oh, these comedians are complaining about getting canceled, and it's not true. Not only is it true, but look at the shit they're getting canceled for. Like Shane, what's his name? SNL.
Gillis.
Shane
Yeah.
Gillis. He got canceled because he was doing a podcast, and him and the guy they're doing the podcast with, the guy, as a kind of a silly joke, but sort of true, he goes, how does Chinatown even show up? Like, is there one Chinese restaurant and then there's 2 and then there's 100, or is it planned in advance? So that's an astute observation that doesn't, we all sort of wonder, like, where does Chinatown just spring up from? And then Shane took that silly/funny observation, and Shane goes, he becomes a character. And he goes, yeah, someone's like, what are all these doing here all of a sudden? Because he said he's a racist, and that's why he loses his job at SNL. So people aren't getting canceled for being in the KKK. They're getting canceled for subsuming a personality and pretending to be, actually lampooning racism is what Shane was doing, and he's canceled for that.
But the beauty of that, if I can just, take the baton from you and say, but that's the beauty of what genuine comedy is, and how it will always beat out this progressivism, because I would argue, and I think you'll agree, I think everyone, it was the best thing for Shane. I mean, if you want to be rich and play by the progressive rules, well, then maybe he could complain. But I don't even know about that, because he and another kid, Tim Dillon, who was never even in the mixer Saturday Night Live because he's too fat or whatever. They already have their fat white person. I don't know. Maybe he's not gay enough, whatever.
He's not a diverse gay enough.
Gay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
He's
literally not gay enough. He's not effeminate enough.
No, he's barely gay. He never talks about it.
He's definitely the top for sure.
You get forced to create your own stuff, and what Shane is doing, he's got such a following on, I believe it, I know the following Dillon has on Patreon is incredible, and Shane's got his own thing going, and it was the best thing for them, because, and I'll say this I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's from conversations with God, but it's true. If we don't go within, we go without. And when you create from within, it finds its audience, and that does its own fucking advertising, as opposed to these progressives or these people on SNL like, well, let me go without and say they like this, and this is like, okay, but now I have to take this out. And by the time it gets shoved down your gullet for you to regurgitate, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Talk about going without. Did you see the sketch they did on Saturday as Joe Rogan?
Oh,
and they chose that guy. He looks nothing like Joe Rogan. They had to stuff his shirt full of tissue paper or something. Like,
Joe Rogan talks quietly. He's like, "Yo, man, pull that shit up, Jamie." Yeah, he has a croaky, low voice. Like, "Hey, man, pull that shit up, man." And Pete, what the fuck is his name? I always forget his Davidson. Davidson was like, "Hey, I'm Joe Rogan." You're just like, you're being Pete Davidson.
Ayahuasca. I just said ayahuasca as loud as you possibly could. But it's funny because ever notice that, Pete Davidson kind of looks like the White Boy Summer version of Steve Buscemi? Doesn't he kind of look like him?
Let's play a snippet of this.
Like the Wigga version of him?
I've yet to see it.
Oh my God. Can I just pause it for a second here?
If
you ever see Steve Martin do Roger Stone? Roger Stone has he has a very distinct accent. He's like, we need to he almost talks like Jared Taylor. We need to move forward and learn to figure out. And then when Steve Martin is doing him, he's like, "Hey, I love math. I'm a big dummy." And you're like, that's a nasally New York accent, dude. I feel like SNL's just given up on sounding like the guy. This is what Shane Gillis is not invited to.
They're like, oh, she looks like Ted Cruz. That's enough. Let's run with it, and let's have her be this in every sketch.
Yeah, he's a fat dwarf.
All right, so this is all just Ted Cruz. Oh, God, I can't. Oh,
this isn't Ted Cruz. It's just typical, Republican mantra.
They're just... None of these people know any Republicans. Like, they live in a bubble, so that's why these characters aren't.
It's funny. It's almost feels like they don't even do the research on the
Look at
actual
that.
politicians they're making fun of because
Look,
they
I
just
just
throw it
said
in
QAnon.
public
There's
and Reddit.
Q.
You literally called it.
Like
They love
they don't even
Q.
do research on the people they're making fun of. They're just using Republican rhetoric. Rhetoric.
All right, so
It sure is. My feathers fell out. My nuts got.
okay, here's where Joe Rogan comes up.
And you think if you're doing comedy, sorry to interrupt, but
Why is he eating
Okay, I'll
peanuts
shut
like that?
No, we're gonna say Gavin.
I was going to say, if you're doing comedy, there's a cornucopia of examples from Joe Biden speaking in gibberish to Kamala Harris's French accent to Nancy Pelosi forgetting what she's talking about. It couldn't be a better time to make fun of the White House, but they decide, no, Ted Cruz and Joe Rogan are our issue.
Yeah, and they're basically regurgitating again this mainstream propaganda of like Big Bird is getting the shot, and they're based. It's like it's just it blows my mind how everything is so unoriginal. Anyway,
listen to Pete Davidson do Joe Rogan.
Well, that's right. I used the whole fear factor, and now doctors fear me.
Can you help me, Joe?
Oh, sure thing, Big Bird. You
wait,
see,
hold
I
on.
hope-
Since when does Joe Rogan have blue nail polish on?
Take off the nail polish.
Take it off.
And why is he eating peanuts like that?
He just kind of looks intense, but he hasn't changed his voice at all.
Yeah, is Joe Rogan known for eating peanuts? Is that a thing?
I don't know. He likes protein. Send him in with peanuts.
A bit. Here's some zinc, and ayahuasca, and some horse medicine.
Well, why would a bird take horse medicine?
I'm a human, and I took horse medicine.
This is after Joe
I
had
can't believe
Sanjay
this.
Gupta on his show and made him look so stupid for CNN
Yeah.
calling it horse medicine. Like, that was huge news. Like, they should be embarrassed to be hitting this note.
That's
But they're
weeks
not.
ago.
But
The
the funny
thing
thing
is-
is, ivermectin
Hugo.
has actually been used for humans before horses.
Of course, yes.
So it's
yeah.
just like
It's just
I
like
mean,
these people haven't seen a fucking newspaper in the last month. Like,
Yeah.
the last
Doctors
100
won a
years.
Nobel Prize in 2015 for prescribing it.
yes.
It cured river blindness in Africans. That's how we knew we could use it on people. I had to sneak that in. And and I'll tell you something else. This is what is really going on. It's the shaming. It's the shaming
Yes.
of getting COVID. And it never was it more obvious than in the past 7 days when Aaron Rodgers got COVID, okay? And then he came back, and just today, literally hours ago, he went out and he beat Seattle and Russell Wilson. Hear me out, because this is a tapestry of the bullshit that 5 or 6 months ago did the roll up your sleeves special with his wife, Ciara, to promote people. And that dude, what's his name? Oh yeah, Michelle Obama. He did that special. So you have Russell Wilson, who's been vaxxed, get shut out by a guy that just survived the worst pandemic of our lifetime, and 4 days later is playing in a snowstorm, while Nick Chubb, hear me out, an NFL running back, and Ben Roethlisberger, an NFL QB, were vaccinated and had COVID, and no one made a peep about it. No one said, oh my God, they exposed everyone this week in practice. No, because they're vaccinated. They did exactly what Aaron Rodgers did, yet Aaron Rodgers live is trending, because that's the new narrative.
Right.
Shaming people and fucking having them afraid to get COVID and lie to them, so they're like, oh my God.
And also,
it must have-
it's shaming people for looking for outside, like there's only one cure for this thing, which we know is all false, but it's the shaming people for looking outside, like the horse blinders of the one cure for this thing. So if you try to go a different way, like, you'll be shamed for it.
Speaking of things that are horse.
Joe Rogan doesn't talk
today-
like that.
Yeah.
That's not how he sounds.
Can we just keep watching?
I don't
this
mind if you
and
make
watch
fun
it-
of them. There's a
watch
million
how
things to
mad
make fun of the
Gavin's
guy
getting
with.
at it.
That's like the dude from the Addams Family. That's not fucking Joe
He's
Rogan.
like,
He sounds
Uncle
just like
Fester.
him to me. He sounds just like him to me.
oh my God.
Two sponsors with the letters S and D, as in I can S my own D.
Like,
kinda
is this?
funny.
Hold on, is this
That's
a Pete
really
Davidson
funny.
big dick joke, or is this a Joe Rogan joke?
No, Joe Rogan said he could suck his own dick recently.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I didn't know that.
I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure if someone's. All right. I think it's gone. Let's see. That might be the end of it.
Oh my God, isn't this for kids?
No one under 60.
I want to see a Bowen Yang character that's on SNL that's not gay. Then my mind will be blown. He's like, could you just be a gay schoolboy?
I want to see Bowen Yang play Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Just be like, I used to stack gooks like you 6 feet high. We use your body.
All right, and then they go into like CRT again, shaming. They're like, oh, we know. It's so boring. It's so boring. Oh God, I just had to like. I'm getting this gone. I'm getting it off. All right, so we are going back to.
Oh, he does a spot on Joe Rogan, doesn't he? Doesn't he, Gavin?
Like, you have no day job. You have time to listen to Joe speak and get his ticks down.
It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not asking for perfect. But when you come on and you're like, "Hi, I'm Joe Rogan. I love to do fucking horse medicine."
Like, I'm doing an accent. Yeah, it's very lame. Okay, here we go.
Dead.
He wouldn't have this job if that weren't the case. All right, here we go.
Couldn't be clearer. Yeah.
I hope you're a caring person. I hope that you're doing things.
Okay.
A few people, let alone use the trouble. Your career is going to be over. You can't say anything anymore. Now, look, I've dealt with this shit. I've been doing comedy a long time, and I was not a good boy. The reason I got into comedy was to be provocative. The reason I got into comedy was to be challenging. Yeah. The reason I got into comedy was to speak truth or just to fucking start shit. That was the legacy I wanted. That was the history of comedy I wanted to be part of. My heroes were people that said the dark stuff, that said the angry stuff, that said the stuff that made people uncomfortable. That was what I wanted to do. Push the envelope, man. Be on the edge.
Yeah, man.
Be edgy. And I was. And I arguably, it's one of the reasons I probably didn't make it until I evolved somewhat, until I grew the fuck up, until I understood more of where I was coming from and who I was and what my responsibilities were as a comic and as a human among other humans. I used to do bits, dubious bits. They're out there. Some of them are.
Now I suck dick.
Some of them are recorded. Some of them were never recorded. And I don't disown any of that stuff. I listen to a lot of that stuff now.
Oh, you will, Mark.
Me, but
you will when you get caught.
It's a less.
Can I just say something? Yeah. He has a whole 20-minute bit about how, look, I look at young girls, 13, 14, and, I can't help but look at them. Some of them, they're dressed up. They look kind of hot, and it's genetic. I'm sorry. I can't help but look at them. I don't want to fuck them, obviously. That's illegal. But I wouldn't mind if they would just sort of instead of just not even looking at me, I wish they would sort of give me a glance like, sorry, not today. You're a little old or something. But I'm invisible to them. And that's what pisses me off. And then there's a long pause, blah, blah, blah.
That's some Chrissy Teigen shit.
And then he goes, of course I want to fuck these girls. That's why there's a law. And then everyone laughs because he's admitting he wants to fuck underage girls. I'd say the odds are 1 in 2 he gets canceled for that bit. It comes out, and this is a bit from the early 2000s. The odds are 1 in 2, and then we'll see how he talks about how much bullshit it is that comedians complain about being canceled. Because he's this close to going down the Shane Gillis route. He's got a lot more shit he said.
This sounds similar to, I don't know if you guys know, John Leguizamo a couple months ago was very outspoken, came out of nowhere, cheerleading CRT. Again, they take this similar tone. I think Dan Aykroyd was another person who came out recently kind of singing this anti-free speech, pro-cancel culture song. And then you look back on their previous work and it's always somebody, to me, it's like they are putting up, when you go bowling, bumpers. They're putting up safeguards because they know they have shit that people can dig up and cancel them for. So they go, oh, let me pre-cancel. Let me buffer myself up here. I've changed, guys. Don't go looking for my blackface. Leguizamo has done some of the most racist comedy. Whatever. People have enjoyed it. People still enjoy it. Right? Yes. And it's always these guys that have stuff. I think it's them freaking out. I don't want to be canceled for my past shit. Let me come out and say it first before other people can find it. And he wants to keep his lifestyle going.
Remember Morgan Spurlock Me Too'd himself? When Me Too was blowing up, he was like, hey, I actually molested a chick. And
What?
he goes, no one gives a shit, dude. She doesn't care. No, well, just in case, I should probably tell you that I molested a chick and it was really shitty and I want to change. Okay. Go nuts. We
This
don't
all
even know
makes
who
me
you
think
are.
of like.
What?
Oh, I was
You're
gonna
like,
say
are
something.
you
but I
wondering
feel
if
like Gavin
you're
would-
wondering? You're like, I wonder if I should say something. All right, hold on. I'm going to keep playing this.
Okay.
Sophisticated me. It's a more
Awkward pause.
insensitive me. It was a tone and a part of me that was shallow.
Yeah, this is the beginning
See,
of the
that's what he's
episode.
doing.
This
He's
is 4
covering his
minutes
future
in.
ass.
He's like,
He
oh,
was
this is
worried about the bit
he's so
coming
full
out
of
that I
shit.
just mentioned.
He's like, oh, this is the thing that really bothered me. He's so transparent. These comics.
I was secretly bothered by
they-
saying these things.
It bothers me that comics say they can't say anything anymore. And then a minute later, he's like, I apologize. I'm better than these bits that I've done this stuff. And it's like, wow, we can see through it.
That's not me anymore. I've grown.
But see, how do you wrap your brain? And I know I keep saying that phrase. Forgive me. It's the only way I can understand it myself. It's like everything you've ever done, made you who you are as a comedian. You're not allowed to just Jenga your career and say I'm taking these bits out because you grew from them. And the only way that you wouldn't be, destroying like how you got to where you were is if you're saying, I just have people writing for me and I want to discredit what was written then and just say this now. No, genuine comics create their way to their voice and it changes as they evolve. But that's the thing. You evolve. So what you were when you were doing blackface, Jimmy Kimmel, and putting women on trampolines, it put you where you were, but it didn't because you started sucking the media's dick so you could have a show.
Right. When you're not famous, it's called being honest and having fun. And when you've already made it, you go, oh, why are these people want to be edgy? It's like, dude, exactly what you said, Geno. You wouldn't have gotten to where you're at.
The Beastie Boys were asked about License to Ill, where they had a giant cock on stage and they had strippers everywhere. And that song, Girls to do the dishes, girls to do the laundry. And they go, now that you're all free to bet, what was all that about? And they literally, like right out of Vito and The Sopranos, they go, it was a joke. We were making fun of jocks. We were doing a character. And you're like, dude, I've seen footage of you guys partying where you're pouring beer down girls' tops. Was that part of the bit? What were you, Daniel Day-Lewis of jock jokes? Because you really immersed yourself in the fucking bit. It was fucking 10 years of your life.
I can't get the visual of Vito in the letter out of my head now going, it was a joke.
It's a joke.
Well, it just makes me think of like
Beastie Boy in 1985.
Like Kevin Spacey, like when he came out after all that scandal came out, he's like, "Oh, I now identify as a gay man," because he had no other choice.
That doesn't make it
basically.
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's almost like it's
Like,
not
I
the
need woke
exact same
points.
thing.
I need woke points. Yeah, you're like,
It's not exactly the same, but it's like it's basically what's happening here. It's like I was secretly like very disturbed with my own jokes at the time. I just didn't say anything then, but it's the same exact. It's not the exact same thing because obviously jokes are jokes in my book. But when someone has said or done things or whatever, and they come forward trying to exemplify themselves with like the most BS, this is like what I'm thinking of.
Or Amy
It's
Schumer too. Amy Schumer, Opie and Anthony took her in. They gave her a career. And then Greg Gutfeld at Red Eye furthered that career, had her on Red Eye. And then she made it huge. And she goes, it was a joke. When I was doing that conservative stuff, I was playing a character.
Wasn't she skinny back then too?
But
She was funnier.
and Amy Schumer kind of proves what I'm saying. And I've said this from Amy Schumer all the way up to Nanette, the aforementioned Nanette. It's almost not their fault because they are victims of the Comedy Central, of the Netflix machine that like Comedy Central grabs Amy Schumer when she's been doing comedy maybe 4 or 5 years. And if they grabbed me or Chrissy 4 or 5 years in and said, we want you to, have your own show, we wouldn't be like, I'm not ready. But when you grab a chick like Amy Schumer and be like, you're perfect, you're funny, you're kind of cute, you have a solid 15 minutes, and then you send her through the ringer after like Inside Amy Schumer, or excuse me, that came later, like with all the specials and stuff, and then suddenly It's like a one-hit wonder with the album. She's like, I got no more jokes. I guess I'll do a leather special and steal Patrice's stuff. I guess I'll do inside Amy Schumer and hire writers that
I'll just get Kurt Metzger to write all my jokes, and then I can steal his career.
And do you understand? It's not her fault because she didn't get the reps in. She's not like the fucking college quarterback that played 4 years and learned how to throw an interception, walk off the field, walk back on, and forget about it. She's not the one who learned how to write a bad joke and say that wasn't funny and laugh at herself. I interrupted you. Please go.
There's so many guys that are solid comedy fans that have been like, please don't turn into Amy Schumer. I have heard that probably 100 times in like 10 years of doing comedy. And it's like the effect that she's had. It's like, I feel like she has given female comedians such a bad name because there is this feeling of, the Opie and Anthony fans, the people who got to know her as like a real comedy chick, going for the jokes, doing the roasts, putting funny before everything else. And then now she evolves or becomes more woke or whatever. And people feel like, well, who is the real her? Was it the girl who we first came to love, or was who she grew into? Was it because of like the politics of her uncle? Like people are almost hesitant to become a fan of somebody because you're like, are you going to change? Are you just going to follow the money? Or I can't tell you how many times I've heard guys say that, and people will just dismiss you like, oh, you're probably like Amy Schumer.
Well, we'll
not
see,
a fan.
Chrissie, when you make it big. But you know who's surprisingly consistent is Eddie Murphy. I mean, he did about 47 shitty movies, but remember that dude Brett something? He did the Tower movie with Alan Alda and Ben Stiller. They're robbing a tower heist.
I remember that movie, but I don't remember this guy Brett you're talking about. I only saw one.
He was the producer, the director, and they said he was doing a Q&A at some school when they were promoting the movie. And they said, did you guys rehearse a lot? Because Eddie Murphy is known as not a big reader. And he just ad-libs all his lines because he's either illiterate or he doesn't have time or he can't be bothered to memorize lines. So they go, did you ad-lib a lot? What they really mean is, did Eddie Murphy just wing it? And then he goes, rehearsals are for fags.
A true improviser.
It was a joke.
That's actually literally true. If you're effeminate queer and you have to play a tough guy in a movie, I assume you'd have to rehearse more than the average Joe to defagify yourself, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how Pete dealt with his Joe Rogan character. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna wing it. I'm just gonna be myself, but like with a bald cap. All right.
Well, that dude, Brett, I'll look up his name in a second, but he was canceled like crazy, and he was supposed to produce the Academy Awards that year. And Eddie Murphy said, you know what? Eddie Murphy was going to host. And Eddie Murphy goes, I'm not hosting. You guys
was it
canceled
Kevin
that
Hart?
Dude. Go fuck yourself. What was his name?
Kevin Hart. He's the guy who talked about like smashing a dollhouse or something on his kid's head or something like that.
Yeah, that
Kevin
was
Hart's the one that said he wasn't hosting the.
But
that's
not what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Brett
Ratner.
Maybe,
Brett Ratner. Yeah, him I've heard of, but I didn't know any of that. I'm dumb.
He had to go on a whole apology tour, like a nationwide tour, apologizing to different groups for that one dumb quip, which is actually true. But Eddie Murphy stood by him and said, fuck the Academy Awards. This is gay. The Academy Awards are for fags.
I love it.
Okay, here we go.
But look, man, I did the jokes. I used the retarded word. I explored the word retard. I did a lot of work around that, and I knew it was hot, and I knew there was a lot of juice to it. I didn't quite understand why at that time why we couldn't still use the word, and I tried to.
Well, that's interesting because I have that bit that he's talking about right here. This seems like a good time to pull that up. This is bad depression and the retarded.
Look how young he is. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what year this is from. I know that it was uploaded to this channel in 2008, but I don't know.
I'm going to say that's 2004 at best.
Okay.
It looks like
I'm guessing. I have no idea.
Stepchild.
To a reprieve of the faithless. That's a little deep. The concept's deep, but it will resonate with some people. You might not understand it. Not you who's watching this. This is actually what I'm saying during my act. See, now It's confusing and meta, isn't it? It is. Look, folks, you can't be happy all the time. I mean, let's be honest. People say, I just want to be happy. Well, you can't. You can't be happy all the time because, honestly, being happy all the time doesn't look unlike retardation, only without the frustration with, of not being able to have sex. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, retardation. I know people, you're not supposed to say retarded anymore. It's not politically correct to say retarded, but I like the word retarded, and I want to take it back. I want to re-own it. I grew up with the word retarded, and I think we're all adults here. I think we know the difference between saying, that's sad, that guy's retarded, and saying, that guy's a retard. I think we know the difference. And in all honesty, retarded people don't even call themselves retarded anymore. They call themselves mentally challenged. So they don't see themselves as retarded, which means there's an outside chance that somewhere in this country on any given day, a mentally challenged person could be calling another mentally challenged person retarded. That's right. You might hear this anywhere in America on any given day. That guy retarded, because he doesn't think he's that retarded. Do you understand? It's sort of like
that has the bones to be a funny bit, by the way. That has potential.
Yeah.
This is why he's hosting a podcast now.
As far as retardation goes, folks, I got to be honest with you. If somebody comes up to you and says, I think you might be clinically depressed, you should probably say, well, thank you. That means I'm...
But at least he's exploring this word. Even then, he's like, well, I know we're not supposed to say it, but I like it. And it's funny. It's like, I want to take back the word. Usually it's people who are that word are the ones that want to take it back. Like black people
all the time.
have taken back the N word. Like, I think you would have to be back the R word. I don't know, unless it's different now.
What about retarded? You don't see that now.
No. I thought we could go.
Speaking of the NBA, I've got some. All right, nothing.
I thought we could go a whole episode. All right. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Speaking of the Knicks, I should have been specific.
All right, back to the pod.
Created a whole thesis about that word, sort of making an argument that we should be able to use it in the way that we used to use it. And I knew that it was challenging, and I knew it made people uncomfortable. I didn't quite know why until I got a letter from a woman who had a mentally disabled child.
You got a letter.
Who said it's not the concern is
not
more
a Public
about
Enemy song. I got a letter from the retard
someone like
the
her.
other day. Open.
You're thinking let's get retarded in here by the Black Eyed Peas.
It's happening. Many of them can when you use that word, but she said it's not how we see them. It's not the word that we use because they're human beings. The connotations of that word and how it's used as a slang, as a representative of something terrible, something stupid, something almost inhuman, has a profound effect on the people that love mentally challenged people, let alone the mentally challenged people. And for some,
if I'm clinically autistic, does that mean I can give him his retard pass so he can say retarded again?
Try it.
I will.
Let's try it at least.
I give you all the retard pass. I grant this to you.
If it weren't, that's the thing is like this retarded girl should be so happy that she has a regular mom that could send this letter for her. Like there's no way if this retarded person tried to send this retarded letter, it would have never made it. And that's the thing is like his joke, if he did form a joke about retarded people, like that's okay. That's probably not for the woman with a retarded kid, but that is for everybody else.
Are, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, like, or someone who's like,
it's not personal, and people take it personal all the time. This is strictly about me. This random person who's never met me my entire life, this comic who doesn't even know who I am. I'm gonna write him a strongly worded letter to make sure he knows I feel affected. It's just
so if he has a joke about his neuroticism or his anxiety, and he gets a letter from someone who also suffers from anxiety, does that mean he has to take that out? Oh, if he gets a letter about, I didn't like your jokes about whatever being Jewish or something. Now, so it's like, okay, you keep doing that over time, and you've let somebody else write your
totally
script for you. Pretty much,
he's covering his own ass. Sarah Silverman did this too. Sarah Silverman was the funny one. She had a great show, the Sarah Silverman program. She was in blackface on it. There was racist jokes, there was retard jokes, there was everything jokes, and then all of a sudden she flushed the whole thing down the toilet and said, I want to be on the right side of history, that old cliche. And I talked to her about this. I said, you were the one who said, when I sit down and do a joke, the only thing that should affect me is this the funniest joke possible? It's like, doing art. Like if I'm going to do a drawing, if I worry about how this drawing is interpreted, it's not going to be as good as it could have been. So she said, when I constructed, this is back like 2001, she said this. And I go, whatever happened to that? And she goes, is the word gay or retard so important to you? And you're like, no.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe yes. Yeah, sure it is. Like,
it is.
It's sort of like, is your need to use your own bathroom and not the bathroom downstairs so important to you? No, I mean, I guess not. But it's like COVID. You know, they keep taking away our rights in these little doses and saying, is it such a big deal to wear a mask? Well, not really, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
for the
line at the mask. Fuck
for
you.
a group of people that is so obsessed with pronouns and using the right words and saying diversity and inclusion instead of you are a diversity hire, they really love to police and bully other people on their choice of words. And it's like, well, you have to say the words that I like to say, and you have to stop saying them when I want them not said anymore.
Well, it's also funny too.
Sorry, Geno. I saw this video where this woman said, it's so easy. Just like say Geno is Zer. In your phone, under your contacts, have Geno Zer. And you're like, okay, now I have to have a whole fucking app on my phone to deal with your bullshit made up society. No.
Yeah.
It's bullying.
Well, it's also circling back, and I'm sorry, I'm lucky enough that I said this ages ago. It's like after 3 or 4 years in New York, I didn't say, that's it. I'm turning my back on comedy. I'm going to say what I want to say, and they'll come to me. No, I'm sure I said something like, look, I give up. I'm just going to say what I want to say because I can't do it any other way. But these people don't get what it is to genuinely be a comedian, and you don't get to compromise the words because they're not even your words. They're just the funniest way to put it. And they're like, okay, well, I just think it's more important to change the creation of the word, of the bit, to say, all right, well, this will make it acceptable. Fuck what's acceptable. You want to fucking drive into someone's gut. You want to make them laugh whether they want to or not. You want a visceral response. And a visceral response doesn't have time for you to put it through the ringer and dissect it and fucking, and sanitize. Doesn't have time for you to sanitize it.
Right. Guys, we have a special drop-in guest. It's gay Marc Maron. Welcome to the show.
Hello. How are you?
Hey, gay Marc
Oh, my
Maron.
God.
So he needs to
Hi,
sanitize
Gavin.
this.
How are you?
Fantastic.
I'm gay Marc Maron. I'm less gay than real Marc Maron.
Okay.
Here's my Marc Maron story. I was at Toronto Yuck Yucks years ago. I thought he was great, so I asked to open for him. I went on, destroyed, and he complained to the managers about how racist and funny I was. And then I went up to him and I go, you got a problem with me? He goes, no, I love your comedy. He's a cock and a loser, and Geno should eat his asshole.
Wait, say that again. You cut out.
I don't think he his asshole. What the?
Eric, you cut out. Say that again.
He's a cock and loser, and Geno should eat his asshole.
Why does he eat his asshole come clearly every time?
What's with your internet, Aaron?
What?
He's out.
Oh, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I just wanted to call in. I'm in Brick, New Jersey. I'm on my way home. I just wanted to say hi to all of you and jump on real quick. I gotta drive.
It says gay. I just saw it says gay Marc Maron under.
Geno's late. All right. All right. I'm gonna play.
So many layers to the bit.
I'm
gonna play.
You guys have fun. I gotta drive. I love you all. I'll see you
all
soon.
right.
You're the
Love
best.
you, Berg.
Drive safe meal ticket. I mean, Aaron Berg.
All right. Here we go.
Now that I hung up, I can suck this guy off in a rest stop.
It's never not funny.
Love you, Berg.
Oh, that's a good dick. That's a yummy dick. Oh, so glad I hung up and no one will know that I am doing gay stuff.
Mark, you're still on. You're still on, Mark. Uh-oh.
Embarrassing.
Oh, you're in my asshole, sir. Oh, hello? Who's there?
That was fun.
That's good. That's
funny.
Third grade humor is the funniest, and I don't get how people It's its own punishment. Don't you think? Like that? I'm sorry. I know I'm biased, but that's viscerally funny. Whether you want to laugh or not, he's like, let me hang up. And we all stood there. He knows he's still on. Hey, I'm sucking. That's funny. And people would sit there and be like, oh, that's homophobic. Stop it. Let yourself be happy, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. All right, here we go. And that's the thing is, like, good people can still make racist jokes, inappropriate jokes, misogynist jokes, homophobic jokes, and that should not be a reflection of who you are as a person, because it's to make someone laugh or a group of people laugh, and it's pretty stupid that people seem to confuse the two.
It's part of being an American, and I'm not the first to say this. I'm probably the 8 billionth to say it, to get your balls busted. You're not allowed to be like, I'm trans, but don't make fun of me. I like you. I'm going to make fun of you. Yeah, but no, that's part of being accepted.
When people go like goo goo gaga, like do weird faces to make their baby laugh, you're not saying to that person like, oh, are you actually retarded? Like, can you not form regular words? Like, no, I'm doing this to make my baby laugh. Well, it's like, in a sense, comedians should be treated the same. Anyway,
okay, so the odds are here. I'd say 99 out of 100 that Marc Maron senses cancel culture looming. So he has set up this thing with the R word. He specifically mentioned retard to hide the fact that he has a retard in his past.
He knows he has this retarded bit. Yeah.
This is damage control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was listening to Stern the other day. He's talking to Debbie, the cum dumpster. Her thing is she loves cum. She loves to drink it. And she'll suck off anyone in the world, like a baby, a dead man, like anyone. To get their jizz.
She's stealing your bit, Chrissy.
That's my thing.
She's got a weird accent. So when she's talking about trannies, she says trainees. And she's like, I don't even care if the guy's gay. Like, I'll suck off a trainee. And then Stern interrupts the bit to point out that the word tranny is an offensive term. And then Robin says, well, she didn't say tranny. She said trainee. And here we are. We're talking to a woman who guzzles cum for a living, and we're worried about offending people.
Yeah, you're interrupting her bit, her thing, to like correct her and let everybody know
to make sure no one's offended.
But at that point, and I've said this, it becomes work. I mean it. Like who wants to work for a living? When you're I think I've said this about certain comedians I know. It's like, good for you for all your success. I've brought this up for a buddy of mine. He's a writer and he does warm up for Seth Meyers, that abortion of a show. But he never seems happy. And I look at him like his jokes are formulaic, and it's like, God, that kid, he works hard, but he works. I learned it from my mother. I show up at work laughing and singing lesbian music, but I'm singing. Like I keep waiting for someone to walk through the door and be like, you can't get away with this anymore, Geno. You pay your bills telling dick jokes.
Someone
to
show up
family
with a wheelbarrow and be like, Geno, get in. We're taking you out of here.
Well, you gotta admit, Geno, your mother, it was easy for her because working in a brothel is fun.
Why do you waste the gold on me? Why, Gavin? Why? I know you're funny. What? This is stuff for Wednesdays. It's Wednesday 4:30 at Sullivan's.
I should have put that in my notes.
Yes, everybody watch Gavin on Compound Media Wednesdays, special guest on the Anthony Cumia show. That starts at 4:00.
And Gavin usually gets there about 10 after 5
yeah.
reason.
Yeah, around 5. That's when it really gets juicy. All right, I'm going to keep playing this. I feel like you're right, Gavin, about he's teeing this up to avoid his own cancellation, but let's see if anything else comes out.
How many people in an audience are you going to speak to that, your idea in your head being a selfish little fuck, you're like, they're not in here. They don't come to the shows. But their brothers
they don't.
Do, their sisters do, the parents.
Retards don't listen to your podcast.
No.
Despite what one would think.
Do their uncles or cousins. It hurts them. And that landed.
Oh, God.
And I stopped saying the word.
That landed.
And I realized it was not defensible.
One letter is all it takes for you to stop exploring a bit or doing a bit.
The fact that he said, the second he said it's not defensible, then you're not, in my opinion, and Lord knows there's billions ahead of me, a comedian. Because the whole point of saying something, I'll use the word provocative, is because you can defend it. Comedy, edgy comedy, dark comedy, whatever comedy you want, non-progressive, is like a loaded gun. And if you know how to handle a loaded gun, everyone is safe, even though it's a dangerous thing. If you don't know how to handle a loaded gun, everyone is fucked, and you're probably going to hurt yourself. And that's the second he said it's not defensible, he should have just said, I'm not a good enough comedian to defend it.
To make it work. Yeah. Or I didn't make it work. Yeah.
And what's the matter with being offended? I remember Louis C.K. was on SNL, and he did a bit about molestation. And he goes, if you molest a child, your life's over. You know, the child, you've ruined the child's life. Their parents' life are over. Like, you've ruined like 10 lives just from touching a kid. And I have kids. I was deeply offended by that bit. It made me mad. I was horrified. I also laughed my head off because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, you can be offended, disgusted, and amused at the same time if you're remotely sophisticated. Like, fucking grow up, be an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. All right. Here we go.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Even if it was an exciting bit to do.
Gino, what are you doing? What are you making a Sanka?
Fuck yeah, we should be able
I
to
needed
say
more ice. I'm
retarded.
sorry.
What kind of world can you say retarded in? This one. This world. The world of people among people.
Ugh.
I've used the word tranny. I used to use the word tranny.
I've used the word
phrase
tranny.
chick with a dick.
Oh, what a brave
that
man.
material's out there. I used to do a bit about a man wanting to become a woman and not and stopping in the middle and being half and half. And I said it's like this: they want to make themselves a mythological creature, and I thought that was sort of flattering and exciting and poetic.
There's nothing
Until
funnier than
someone
wanting to
said-
cut your dick off. I'm sorry. There's nothing funnier than trans jokes. I'm sorry. Like, a man wanting to cut his dick off is the funniest thing I've ever heard about.
It's Marc Maron's way of saying I'm sorry, I am not funny enough to pull off these bits, the subject
Don't
matter.
cancel me.
It's too risky for me. I'm sorry. I'm abandoning ship. I'm throwing in the towel. This is my white flag. You know.
No more penis jokes.
Yeah.
We cannot touch the penis.
This sounds like a confessional.
Ed, look, I'm that person, and it's demeaning. This is a hard struggle.
Who gives
that
a
I'm living
fuck? Oh my god.
in this body, and that doesn't help. It's diminishing, and I still thought but I thought it was beautiful.
Diminishing
It's
isn't
not.
even the right word.
Yeah.
This is
Demoralizing,
self-serving is what this is.
dehumanizing?
Yeah, I think he meant like
Diminishing.
dehumanizing. Yeah, diminishing. Like what?
I realized this is condescending. It's
Who
diminishing,
cares?
and it hurts people.
It's comedy.
in the world of
Diminishing.
people.
Fucking idiot.
that
think
The
woman.
line is
building up.
constantly being moved.
You know what it is?
The
That
line
woman.
is constantly.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, Chrissy.
that woman wrote that letter to Marc Maron because guess what? Having a retarded daughter was out of her control. She wanted to have a regular kid. A retarded one came out. It happens. It happens.
You know what?
But what she doesn't have control over is shutting down. Writing to Marc Maron. Oh, I'm so upset. You need to change your bit. So that doesn't mean you have.
letter.
What
are the
right.
chances there was no actual letter? He's just making this whole story up as like some come to Jesus moment. And the reason that he's actually not saying the retarded word anymore is because he doesn't want to get canceled. There was no letter.
Yeah,
there
let's
was
produce
no sad mom.
Yeah.
Let's see the letter.
Yeah,
Post
there
the
was no
letter.
fucking letter. Yeah.
He's got
The letter
frames
is
somewhere
his
where it
own
actually
guilt that he's just created.
has it. Just there's no letter. Cool bullshit.
If there was, he'd be posting pictures of it right now.
And then
How
he
did this
watches
woman-
this.
You're right. How did this woman get this letter to him? She's sitting there at home. Dear Marc Maron.
An email? A letter?
How'd you get his contact?
These are all very good questions.
It's addressed Marc Maron, Hollywood, California. There we go.
Bullshit Street.
Please do not open until November 11th, 2021, when you are recording a podcast.
I CC'd the president of show business.
Yeah. Oh God.
But it's funny. I can just imagine him watching this and being like, "I have the letter," and writes his own letter and taking it.
Yeah,
It's just, I
and
have
he
framed this entire time.
He teabags it like you did in 7th grade for your report on the Constitution. You burn the edges. You're like, it's old. I've teabagged it.
Am I crazy, or
Yes.
the parents of special needs children only recently cunts? Like, I remember as a kid growing
No, my
up,
mother's a cunt for sure. For sure.
Do
There
you,
was-
are you calling yourself special needs, Ashton?
I'm clinically autistic.
Oh, really? I can't tell. You
I
hide
gave
it well.
me a retard pass.
Oh,
So
shit.
you're
Okay.
saying there's a chance. All right.
but when I was a kid, people who had kids with special needs, and I don't say retard if I'm actually talking about retards, they seemed like cooler, funner, edgier, rough around the edges, and now they're fucking snowflakes who send letters and bitch all the time. They were tough. Like, I remember going to Jamaica and I saw this kid who was like, "Meh," and they put him in his chair and they have to strap him in, and the dad is like wiping his mouth because he's drooling like crazy. He's probably 17. He's a big guy. And the idea of that dude also being woke and getting on the internet and being like, that was offensive, you guys. Like, he's too busy lifting his giant son from chair to chair. You know what I mean?
You know what?
And
Though
now
people
they're like
Giant
pictures.
son, like a Saint Bernard.
See, that's terrible. Saying retard isn't terrible. His giant son.
His son was like my height. He was like 5'10" and a half.
That just
And he was
seems
just like
more
having-
hurtful than the word retard when you say hoisting his giant son.
lift him over, and his giant handicapped son.
that makes me
yeah,
think. Have you guys seen 13 Ghosts, where you see like the giant baby? Have you seen 13
No.
Ghosts? Oh my gosh, the first thing I think of.
That's what's got to be so annoying is like you have a retarded kid and they're like 6 feet tall. You're like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, couldn't you be petite?
Well, they grow. They
They do
live.
grow.
They have
They
height.
do.
You know what? I
among
think
people.
parents of special needs kids have always actually been this way, but now at a time where like it's acceptable to be a Karen about everything, and now it's like their time, so it's more acceptable. But I'm telling you right now, I think parents of special needs kids a lot of the time, 90% of the time, tend to be assholes like my mother, because they don't want children. They want
Ashton, you're
normal
not
children. They
special
want the
needs.
typical.
I'm sorry.
Well,
You
there's
can't-
me. There's
You can't
me.
jump
I'm
on the retard.
Hold
boat.
up, Gavin. So there's me. I'm on the spectrum, and there's my little sister who actually is like she actually does need like assisted care and whatnot.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but like there are people like parents who like have like a dream of when they're pregnant, and they're like, my daughter's gonna like go on to do great things, and they're gonna be prom queen and all this bullshit, and then their kid comes out with autism or Down syndrome.
You know
and it
what?
really
Like,
affects their ego.
a guy was crowned prom queen, so I feel like retarded people can also be prom queen. Like that, anything is possible. And at the same time, there's nothing wrong for advocating for your special needs kids. What's not okay is writing a Marc Maron a letter telling him to stop doing, or any comedian writing somebody telling him to stop doing a bit.
Well, I
Just
think
don't listen to them.
Ashton's right though, like, in that they were normal like us, and then woke became hot, and they're like, "All right, I'm woke." Like, you know, the Cleveland Indians and the Redskins and all that. American Indians were asked in the early aughts, "Do you find Redskins offensive?" 4% of American Indians said they are offended by the Redskins and Chief Wampum, whatever the mascot is. It cut to 2017, and it was up to 85%, because there was like, all right, if there's a currency here and people are making money and it's a thing, then yeah, I'm totally offended by that. Like, most of woke culture is just people going, what, everyone's yelling about that? Okay, I'm in. Yeah, I hate it too. Is
Fuck
there money
pomegranates?
involved?
Yeah, fuck pomegranates. Like that bullshit.
Yeah, they're
You
jumping
don't like
on board.
pomegranates? Oh yeah.
Haven't seen that video where like the teacher's yelling about pomegranates?
No.
No, we don't have
Okay.
autism. We don't watch that many.
Was it on
movies.
Family Guy? Then I didn't see it.
No.
Couple super chats from Brian S. Love this group of fine people. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Loose Cannon, for the super sticker. I want to make sure I'm not missing any good questions or comments here. From Mr. Berger. I am officially a fan of yours now. This is one of the best discussions I've heard.
So good.
I've heard all. Hail Chrissie Mayr. All right, close enough. Watch the Mr. Berger show on Plex. I like that he brought in a plug of himself there. Thank you, Hamburger. From MG, the bird, which is the bald eagle, has been wreaking havoc at my local Nigglies on the Moon. Any suggestions? That seems like an In Hot Water inside joke.
I have to call Superman, but he's not an EMT.
It's actually it's a my show joke.
Oh, shoot. Right. Okay. Do you want to respond to that, Gavin, or you're good?
No, I want to keep it inside.
Okay. Keep it special.
It's sort of like getting fucked by one of those perfect dicks. You just want to keep it inside.
Excuse
yes.
me.
Possible.
Young Pei Chang, my only Asian fan. 5 for Frank. I see him. Thanks, Young Pei. Love you, buddy.
Why are these all coming in through now?
They came in earlier. I just didn't want to disrupt our flow.
Oh, I see.
From Reggie, these creeps would have canceled Don Rickles' entire career.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's just that everybody has a voice that matters. It's
Imagine
annoying.
if George Carlin was still alive.
I think he would be going harder. Yeah, Brian Strong again eats the prom king crown. That's great. Giant Sun. Oh, from Comic Artist Pro Secrets, Ethan Van Scriver. Hi, Chrissy. I subscribe to Censored. Big fan. Would say hi, Comicsgate. We love it. Oh, would he say hi, Comicsgate? Gavin.
What?
Would you say hi, Comicsgate?
Hi, Comicsgate.
Yay. From HP Lovecraft, have some Canadian Monopoly money. Godspeed. Thank you, buddy. From Fizenthorpe. Gavin, when are we going to get more commercials? Also, love you, Chrissy.
Yeah, soon.
Thank you, Kay, for a hooroo. I'm here for Gavin and Geno. Love you, Chrissy. From P. Maron has always seemed like he'd auto molest any sleeping person.
Yes, thank you for saying that. That is crucial. These heroes that are on the right side of history,
yes,
they're the ones that fuck
creeps.
the chick when she's asleep. The ones who clean up the girl's barf are the like evil jocks that are portrayed badly in the movies. The quarterbacks, they're like, oh, those guys are date rapists. My experience has been those guys are like, okay, hold on. And they like pick her up and put her on the couch and they wash the sheets.
Oh,
it's the Marc Marons that are doing the stooping.
Yes.
And then they leave
the
her in a pile of barf and run home.
Yep.
It's so funny you say that.
Your murder room.
I just scribbled down the word guilt. Like that. He's guilty about something. And it's like, if you're just doing jokes to do jokes, there's not an ounce of guilt involved. We had an episode of In Hot Water like a couple months ago, but it was when they when they came out and said, we highly urge pregnant women to get the COVID vaccine. And I just posted it on my Instagram and said, this is a litmus test. And it's like, this should terrify you. And people are like, why? And I said, I brought up thalidomide babies. And of course, Aaron, suddenly we have, the Conan O'Brien thing with the talking mouth. We have like 7 or 8 thalidomide people calling in. And of course, the next day, some woman watches and writes a letter because one of the people we grabbed off of Google Images.
Like a Marc Maron letter? Like,
yeah. And she's like, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. And I was like, I don't care, because there was not an ounce of guilt in my body because I have no soul. But even if I did, I didn't care, because the point of it was not to make fun of thalidomide babies, to point out, oh my God, you tested these COVID vaccines for 5 months and you're not the least worried about this? Look at these fucking circus freaks. Look at Flipper, the 5-year-old, and tell me that fucking women should get vaccinated with COVID while they're pregnant. Well, you hate people with thalidomide. No, I think we all hate the fact that we had people, but that's what we're hearing with Maron here. Is like, yeah, I was just going, and he probably was. He was going for a cheap fucking laugh. He had no fucking point, and now he feels fucking HURT bad, and I don't give a fuck. He's every word that comes out of his mouth in this podcast makes him that much further from ever being a comedian.
I'm going to finish the rest of this super chat. Love you, Geno. Love all your rants. Tune into In Hot Water Monday through Thursdays for more Geno rants. Gavin, I like your murder room. You look evil. Fuck yeah. Off topic, but can you tell us? Evil. Can you tell us about the cannibal video you spoke about with Ant and how to see it?
What's he talking about? Cannibal video?
Did you speak of a cannibal video with Ant?
Cannibal
Anthony?
Video. Like
Cumia?
people eating people?
I don't know.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
I saw a cannibal video on Twitter. Some guy was like in whatever. They copied me because I like to say they're not people. And it was just some kid in a gang literally
I did a great
eating.
video on how to drink in bars, and it was like we were looking for that the other day. And,
I already know how to do
cannot
that.
fucking find it anywhere on the internet. How to drink in bars, because Vans. I did it for Vans shoes, and I'm so canceled that they scrubbed it from the entire World Wide Web. Hannibal.
All right, from the Shadow Bandman, my son's on the cover of a magazine.
That's an inside joke for my people.
All right, tune in to Censored TV to learn about these inside jokes. From Young Pei Chang, my only Asian fan. I appreciate Gavin, even if he might know my kind has no soul. I first remember knowing of him when he taught us how to stealth urinate in public.
Yes, that's still semi-available.
Okay, good.
The key to urinating in public is to draw your attention up here. Your phone's on. What? What are you guys talking about? Are you out of your mind? Absolutely not. No, we're not doing it for that price. Not even close. Maybe
That's so
not
good.
even half that. And then you're pissing.
That's such a good tip.
I did that a couple times on the walk. I was on the walk home through Central Park, and I went in the woods, but I looked like I was taking a picture of an overpass, and I'm like aiming, but I'm just pissing.
Yeah.
Well,
just gesturing.
Yeah,
the eyes are up. The eyes are up.
Yeah.
It's my homage to you, Gavin. That's what I was doing.
The way my mom was so good at sneaking into like VIP pools in Vegas, she would just do a lot of gesturing. She would just like gestures and then just like walk right in. It seems similar.
Did you go in Vegas?
No, Long Island, but my family like
Same
loved
thing.
to go to Vegas all the time. My brother lived there. My sister lives there now. It's crazy. All right, from Tyler B. Marin did coke with Kinnison. Marin brain no work good. From Matthew Phillips. Hi, Chrissy and company. Marc Maron is an eternal emo. He sees himself as an intellectual. Gavin nailed his character earlier in the stream. No matter his success, Mark will always be envious of others. Ooh.
Yeah, Stern is the same way.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, from Ethan's back for 5. I did a nice drawing of Dr. Octopus. If he was the Dolomite baby, I will send it to you.
Thalidomide.
Oh my God, big words. I can't do them today. Anne Frank for 2. Yeah, you're cool. Oh man, Geno has a good Anne Frank joke. Strong therapy. Thank you for the super chat. Czar Mangus. Gavin, if Colin Flaherty is alive, why doesn't he have a show with you?
Yeah, I'll get him on. He's smart.
Okay. Is this your living room, Gavin? From Max Wilson.
This is my front room in my house.
Loose Cannon. Where's Miles McGinnis? Is that a Milo joke? No.
No, I used to do this liberal character named Miles, and it didn't seem funny. And I'm kind of over like comedians doing a character. Just be yourself. There's so much content as you in your own voice. That doing like Andrew Dice Clay or Chip Chipperson or
you don't like Chip Chipperson, but don't you like Doug Bell, Gavin?
Guy's a genius.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm kind of a Doug Bell fan.
I love Doug Bell. I'm right there with you.
Ashton, do you like it when comics do characters?
It depends on if the character's actually good or not. Like when they're doing impressions, I feel like the impression's always botched, as we just watched with that whole Pete Davidson thing. To be honest, I think Alec Baldwin, for example, is a good impression of Donald Trump, even though I don't like Alec Baldwin. I actually kind of think it's kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah, I like his impression of a murderer. He nailed that one.
Yeah, he really did that really well.
He's not
almost everything Martin Short does is great, like Jiminy Glick and all that. But I don't know. I just want to hear how you feel about things sometimes.
Yeah, you're like a cut through the bullshit guy. From Matthew Phillips. Also, it's my first time to see Ashton and Geno. You're both awesome. What are your channels? Geno, you can watch on In Hot Water on Compound Media Monday through Thursdays. I don't think Geno has a channel per se, but I know Ashton Birdie.
I have my football videos that I do Geno's picks.
Okay.
But they're all on my website. I'm sorry to interrupt you, boss.
Oh, no. Yeah, we're all the boss. Okay.
Ashton has been canceled about 100 times over.
I
From
cancel
her
myself.
Own family, social media, again and again and again. The fact that she's still alive is shocking.
Oh, we'll protect you, Ashton.
Thank you, Gavin.
Oh,
thank you. The fact that I am still alive is
human strength. I'm really
Thank
impressed
you.
with you, Ashton. You've been back.
I'm gonna cry.
Wow, I love this.
Gavin.
I love this.
Like my family supports me throughout all of this shit. I'm sure Geno and Chrissy's families are similar, but Ashton has got canceled by social media. She got canceled by mainstream political culture, and then her own family betrayed her. So she had nowhere to turn to at all. Like for a while, she had nowhere to sleep. Like she couldn't find a couch.
Damn.
She was.
Oh my God. Oh, so emotional.
Yeah,
this
is
any of us.
Why didn't you just hit her if you're gonna make her cry? 2 birds with 1 stone, dummy.
No, Gavin like helped me through so much horrible stuff. Like it's not even funny. It's like, oh my gosh. Sorry.
Oh my God. I love that
It
you're
went on and on.
crying.
It wasn't like a bad week. Like she was canceled by her family and friends for years because she's from fucking California. They're
Berkeley,
she was in the
California.
eye of the
Yeah.
storm.
Oh boy,
Ugh,
that's tough.
gross.
That's so tough.
Yeah,
I love
and then
you,
it must be
Ashton.
like shitball after shitball after shitball, and like Gavin witnessed all these like, what the hell is going
And
on?
and you're a young person, I feel like, which makes it like harder. I don't know. I feel
Oh,
like the
yeah.
older you
Well-
get, the less you care about like what other people think.
The
So
worst of the worst happened when I was like 21, 22, 23, and that's like that's like your entire like early 20s. And so like I kind of look back, everyone's like, in my early 20s, I got to travel and I got to drink all the time. I'm like, oh, I was held hostage and fled a cult basically. So
Yeah, when you get old, like say you're canceled at 30 or 40, you kind of have a few ride or die you can rely on.
Yeah.
When you're in your early 20s,
that was with an A. That was with an A.
you don't really have that sort of support group.
How
So,
old were you, Gavin? When you got
I guess it started with
canceled?
Trump like 5 years
Yeah.
ago. So I was
okay.
a mere fresh 46-year-old.
Yeah.
But,
What is the best age to get canceled? I don't know. I
46
think-
is pretty good.
Yeah.
46
It's
is
like
pretty
Kanye. Kanye got canceled because he has like millions of dollars and he's married to Kim Kardashian. He doesn't care if he's canceled.
And that's the nugget of this whole cancel culture conversation. It's so easy for these millionaires and these established successful guys and gals to be like, "Oh yeah, we need to do the right thing. We need to like take care of people's feelings." And it's like, "Well, yeah, like what about the Josh Dennys of the world?" I'm only thinking of him because I think he's about to come on soon. But these younger
Love Josh.
comics, they say one wrong word and they get banned from an open mic scene in a small town or in a woke town or something. And they
also
they get,
mentally too. Like when you're 46 and someone says you suck, you're racist, you're evil, you go, no, I'm not. Like I know who I am. You've been around for almost half a century. When you're only 21 and people go, you suck, you're evil, you go, maybe they're right. Maybe I am evil. Like I'm
'Cause
not
you're
established
impressionable.
enough
Yeah.
as an adult. I've only been. You just finished your fucking teens like 3 years ago.
yeah.
So you start thinking they're you get suicidal. You think they're right. Ashton
got
survived it though.
We got
I know.
respect for Gavin in the chat. Wow, I have so much more respect for Gavin for helping this chick I don't even know, but I will now look into her.
Oh. Yeah,
She
no.
was my favorite prostitute at the brothel in Nevada. The Bunny Ranch.
From Max Wilson, do you think Trump's
It was
social
a
The only
media
one that
Ranch.
would do anime at the Bunny Ranch.
I'm
so
pic-
fucking funny.
right now, Ashton?
Not-
From Max
Not true, just a joke.
It was the chicken ranch.
Yeah.
the chicken head ranch. Max Wilson, do you think Trump's social media site will succeed? I think big tech is screwed if his site operates well. Liberals are having Trump withdraw. What is it called? Getter? Oh no, there's an even newer one that's coming out. I forget the name. Float, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Getter. Did you hear what happened? Like the date
No.
they launched. The date. I'm sketched out by Getter personally. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm
the
on
fact
Getter.
Yeah.
But
Don't know
Getter,
what it is.
Getter is like the social media site that like Trump, I guess, is on, and I guess Steve Bannon is promoting. But the thing is they got a lot of their money from a like Chinese billionaire, and like the first day it launched, it got hacked, and a lot of
Oh,
information was
God.
stolen. And I'm like, okay, that's not suspicious at all.
Wait,
Hi, Josh.
Why is Josh Denny here?
Josh Denny's here.
Hello.
Yay. Hi, Josh. Oh no, do you not like him? No, you have a show on his channel. Does he not like you? Did I miss something?
I don't know where
Oh,
Gavin
wait.
went. I'm sorry. I thought it was Hitler.
Oh yes.
I like Josh Denny.
All right, I
You
don't know if I'm
You have
gonna.
your racist mixed up, Gavin.
Josh
I'm over
Denny.
here.
I thought it was
Welcome
the
to the
guy who
show.
killed over 200,000 Jews.
Is
Well,
that
I
how
don't-
low is the number down to 200,000? I thought it was more than
He
that.
said over.
Well, there's died of the Holocaust and died with Holocaust. They're two totally different numbers.
It's like COVID.
Yeah, most of them died from complications related to Holocaust. I don't know if you guys know that.
They had a pre-existing condition, which was being Jewish or gay.
My brother died recently. I don't know. My brother died last year. I don't know if it was the alcoholism or complications related to the Holocaust.
Did you guys see the joke about the guy trying to hit on like some Jewish girl like at prom or something? And he goes, "I believed it was 12 billion." Like just going up to her.
Oh
like,
man,
I believe it was even more.
Like that's gonna be like, tell me more.
Well, there was actually someone that pointed out in like history books they found it was like a history book from like 20 years ago. It was like I think 4 million, and then like a textbook later was 5 million and not 6 million. And some people are saying
Ashton,
now 7 million.
Destroy what's left of all of our careers.
Yeah.
I'm just asking questions. If someone wants to debunk me, I'm happy to.
Yes, we've all read the chapter in Gavin's book on how he met his wife. Anyway.
Oh my god.
Actually, there's a punk band called Crass, and they have a song. I forget what it's called, but there's a line in it where they go, "That's a kind of self-deception that killed 10 million Jews." And no one ever said 10 million. It was Crass like doing your joke, Ashton, where they're like exaggerating to sound more, woke.
Right. Like it was a bigger deal than it was. It wasn't that big a deal.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
We would have so many more accountants had it not been for the Holocaust. You know what I mean? From Chrissie Mayr's boobs. I don't even know. I'm entertaining the super chat. What is?
That's how we know they got the count wrong. Everybody that was good at it was gone.
Dump them out.
They have, they're out. They put a super chat in, I guess, when I wasn't looking. What is Geno's favorite? I love it. Wow. Ladies. I'm touching him.
See what you got.
What is Geno's?
More girth.
I got some nice ones. Mine are pretty good right here. I got a little bit of a lot of cinnamon sugar on mine.
There's no hang to it though.
Daddy loves.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, they're too perky, Gavin. I mean, it's.
Yeah, try breastfeeding.
That's why YouTube deleted the thumbs down, so I couldn't go like this to your tits.
Yep. Geno, what is your favorite gay porn clip, and why does he like watching so much of it in hot water on Compound Media?
My favorite gay porn clip is whatever the clip was. The time Gavin, forgive me. Garrett said to Aaron, "How many people are behind you on the plane?" He was in the front row, first class, and he held his phone up while Skyping in. And Garrett put this terrible gay porn clip up, and everyone on the plane saw it for a split second before you saw Aaron Berg's phone fly to the ground.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's so. But they can't wait to show gay porn whenever Aaron's Skyping in with his cell phone.
I'm fine with the porn. What I can't handle is like all the poop, like going back and forth, like poops in mouths. Eating poops off penises. I can't.
And I always hate it when it's happening, but then I'll go watch a clip of them like, yeah, it's funny. Gay porn is funny. It's when another guy puts another guy's dick in his mouth. It's fun, and if you love it, great. But it's funny to me. I don't know
it's so
why.
funny. I have to start jerking off.
Whatever.
I don't know if you know this in general, but gays are hilarious. They're the purest form of entertainment. I believe that's their whole purpose of existence.
What's funnier, gay people or you saying gays are hilarious? What do you think is funnier, Josh?
I mean, seriously, we all know guys who just happen to fuck other guys, and they're just like regular guys, and those aren't the ones they put on TV.
No,
they put the ones on TV dudes who are like, "Isn't it fabulous?" You're like, this is a character. Who
this
cares
is not. I'm
Josh,
surprised gay people aren't like mad
saying
about
was
it.
remotely true, then they would be disproportionately represented in the entertainment industry.
Right?
Clearly not.
True. Josh, I don't know if you were listening to any of the WTF Marc Maron podcast.
I try not to ever.
I wanted to get your take. Do you feel like this is a sort of
Josh.
You feel like this episode is a preventative measure on Mark's part to kind of sort of pre-cancel himself or put up a buffer so that people don't try to go after for his past material so he can stay?
If I can only judge Mark on his lifetime of bitterness and his face and body, I would say that he's got about 30 probable Me Too charges that are just waiting to come down. So you know, anybody who's been like the creepy old guy in the alt comedy scene in LA for that long is like, has definitely had some questionable
100%. He definitely has some looming, like if Dave Portnoy can get in shit for a chick who slept on the couch, he is about to fucking get roasted. This is a guy who only likes to fuck young girls, by the way. He's not known for his milk.
How do you know that? How do you know this? Just from like knowing him from, or like observing him in Hollywood, or
just Mark is one of those guys who you could literally see being like, you know, the girl came over to my house at like 2 a.m. and I'm like, what do you mean you don't want to fuck, man? Like I can just picture him explaining away that kind of story 100 times.
He always has these gorgeous young interns. His studio is at his house. There's plenty of time to horse around. He's a fucking pig.
Yeah, I don't.
Just happened to be naked on my desk. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You know, I talk about this with Gavin when we speak. It's like I don't trust anybody who has the right opinions about everything. I just don't, especially somebody with that fucking face. It's like, you're a comedian, you know, you're this fringe person. You've been around in the business for 30, 40 years, Marc Maron. Am I to believe that you've never done anything questionable to where you can sort of like throw stones from the glass house?
No, but it's his culture too. Like his most popular bit, the bit that made his career was him saying, "Of course I want to fuck underage girls. That's why there's a law."
Ooh.
That's verbatim what he said.
Which is kind of funny. Like I understand the humor in that.
Yeah, I like the joke, but when you're also a self-righteous asshole that talks about perverts and pigs and sexists and horrible people who prey on the young, I go,
yeah.
You
know
can't
what?
have it both ways, Mark.
Yeah. When did the Dave Portnoy stuff come out? What, in the last 2 weeks? This episode of Mark's came out last Thursday. Like just this past Thursday. So I wonder if he's looking at Portnoy and shitting himself a little bit and doing, let me preemptively apologize.
Yeah, you can almost smell when these guys are trying to get in front of their own press.
Yeah.
The left spends so much time, though. Like, they spent 8 months on that Dave Portnoy smear, which didn't go anywhere. Where's our smears? Like, can we get smearing, please?
I want to smear.
I grew up as a lefty, but I want to become a smear merchant. Like, let's fucking.
You mean a gynecologist? A gynecologist, a smear merchant?
Yeah, let's fucking interview 900 women who slept with Marc Maron and ruin him, because we know it's true.
Sounds
unlike Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't
want to talk to that many. I don't want to talk to that many genderless Asian women, Gavin. So. That's just too much interviewing with Charlene Yees. I'm okay. I'll pass.
Oh, that's great.
She said, David Cross made slanty eyes at me at a party once. Isn't that a hate crime? Oh,
dude, can I just say something off the record? And please don't record this or tell anyone. But
we're alive.
When I read that allegation against David Cross, I was like, dude, I think that's me.
Yeah, did you? Was it actually you that did that? Not
I
David?
think so. I was hanging out with David. I remember he was hanging around with Michael Cera because they were doing Arrested Development. I remember Charlene Yee being around. I remember her being boring and wanting to fuck with her just to be amusing, like, you know, to spice it up and get some conversation going because she's dull. And like saying, "Do you know karate or kung fu?" to a Chinese girl seems like the kind of thing that I would do. And David doesn't do that kind of shit. Like, he's not a racist.
Now that you say that you were potentially in the room, I 100% believe that was you.
Dude,
and not him.
The odds of me being in the room are 9 in 10. So the odds of me being the guy who said "ching chong chi cha chong" are 95.
You sound like Shane Gillis right now.
I can 100% see Gavin going, "What do you mean you don't know karate?"
Yeah. Well, kung fu, karate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, same thing. Okay. I've got a super chat. I don't know if Ashton, this is something you can answer easily. Randy thinks Ashton did not get canceled. She built her online profile by jumping on the Trump bandwagon, then totally bashed him and lost all her subs.
Oh, I can totally explain this. So when Gavin's talking about me getting canceled, he's talking about me getting canceled by the left back when I was like 19, 20, 21. What this guy is talking about, because he's got a sore loser panties in a twist, is that when I realized that Trump was breaking all of his promises, he wasn't going to pardon Julian Assange, he wasn't going to pardon Snowden.
Similar to Ann Coulter. She made
I made 3 videos on this, okay?
Yeah.
He didn't do any of his promises. And then, did he help the people on January 6th? Absolutely not. He kept just going into war. He kept pushing everything that people around him were saying, including Jared Kushner. Why am I going to continue supporting a man who does that? How he has a base, I don't know. How he still has supporters, I don't know, because Trump was the biggest disappointment of my political career.
Ashton was canceled by everyone around her way before.
Or supporting Trump
originally.
originally.
On Trump. Way before.
Okay, good. That's good to clear that. MG, Geno has been tasting a chili dog lately, and I think I know why. Hi. And he's been getting good at it. All right, that is a nonsense super
Those are
chat.
all inside jokes from my show.
Young Pate, did anyone who sold out redeem themselves? Oh, do you mean like someone who started out went kind of woke and came back? I can't think of somebody. It feels like something once you go woke, you either have to go harder or kind of dip out.
So wait, what does that question mean though? Like Joe Rogan canceled Milo, Alex Jones, and my podcasts, and he's redeemed in that he's making fucking $100 million. But do they mean someone who like did something shitty like that and then came back to our side and retained their fucking credibility? I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, Kevin out. Did they ever put your episode back up on Spotify?
No,
your episode of Rogan's just gone.
But there's people like Adam Carolla, who has always retained his credibility, but he never went over to the dark side and sold out. I don't even know if you can't. Like, how do you sell out and then come back to us? I don't know. If it's
there is no coming back. It's like you sell out for money. Why would you give that up?
No, the only real person I know that really hardcore sold out and is almost completely gone the other way is that dude Joe Walsh, who
I know him.
He was like a huge Trump supporter and then turned on him and then
and
is now super anti everything Republican. Like now he's like basically a total rhino and is just like regurgitating leftist talking points all the time on his radio show.
I had him on my show once. Very sexy looking guy. He's now doing like a leftist tour. You remember there was that guy with the ugly leprechaun wife who
what?
He had a song. He performed on Melissa Harris Perry's show and did a song called White Man Blues.
John Lennon?
An Antifa kid.
Nice.
Was it like Mike Kimmelman? He had a name like that. And then he got Me Too'd. And then he tried to come over to the right side and join the cancel group. And we're like, man, no, you were canceled for the wrong reasons. You don't belong here.
You're not talking about Jamie Kilstein, are you, Gavin? Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, I had him on. I had him on recently. Wait, he has a leprechaun girlfriend? Oh man.
Yeah. No.
He didn't mention.
It's so funny because he did. He was super woke. And then got canceled for being rapey.
I heard it was like he cheated on his wife or girlfriend or something like that.
And then he was like, "We're in an open relationship, bro." And she's like, "I didn't know about that."
It's open now.
And then he like sort of like he does this thing that I give Bridget Fetisi shit for, where he's like, he started super left, then went super right. Now he's like, I'm mostly in the middle. I'm just like a political atheist. I just like I don't believe in teams or sides, bro. And it's like, yeah, you can't do that anymore.
You know, that works when you
really.
that works when you make your case on individual. Like, show me an instance where you do support the right. Show me an instance or an issue where you are a little bit more left. If you can't go ambiguous fence sitting, but not make your case for any one thing or the other. Like, let me see you go back and forth, and then I'll believe that take. But if you don't, it seems like you're just trying to avoid criticism.
Right. I like to pretend that I'm one of those centrists and then go, but like, I do think we need to take a look at the inherent violence in the Black community. Like, I just throw out incredibly right-wing leaning things that are not based in fact at all, and then be like, but I'm mostly a centrist.
From P for 10, Gavin, I will find the cannibal clip you spoke about on Compound. From Lauren Southern, Chrissy, your hair looks very
I know what he's talking
Yeah.
about. I know what he's talking about. I have a theory that the way we learned to eat meat as Homo sapiens is we started eating each other's dicks. And I know that sounds crazy.
Wait, talking about eating a wing? Because that you kind of got like...
No, but like chimps, when they attack other chimps, they'll eat your heels, your face, and your penis. And your thumbs, right?
Oh my God, how did you know that?
Because I fuck with a lot of chimps and it doesn't go well.
Got attacked by a chimp.
I knew it was coming.
So
Missing
I'm
a finger,
guessing
Gavin?
that when we were in like the chimp zone, we probably were like, fuck you, Josh Denny. And like,
First of all, it's way more bites than it would take, but go on.
Dude,
when it comes to chimping my penis, it's more like an amuse bouche.
It's a one bite, everybody knows
bites.
the rules.
I don't know what kind of anaconda you're dealing with, but I was like this. I went, one, two, three, like what are you? Do you have down there? But anyway, so after you eat a couple dicks, you get this rush of protein, and all of a sudden you're like, I want to go fuck some more chimp humans, and then you end up breeding more because you have protein, and that's what I believe was our segue from vegetarians, which all chimps are, to Homo sapiens, where we eat meat. I think it came from attacking each other and the alphas eating each other's dicks.
Or you suck a dick and you get so carried away, you chomp on it, and then you're like, oh, that's pretty good.
Chrissy, I've had this theory for 3 years. You cannot just jump in.
Okay. All right. I'll get back to you in 3 years when I've thought it through. Okay.
I've thought mine through. It's well hammered, and people think
What
it's dumb.
kinks is Chrissy into?
What
That's
kinks
a real
am I
question.
into?
Well, I mean, you're talking about eating.
Wait, I thought that was a question in the chat. No, I'm definitely not into dick eating. I just was, I don't know. I have a wild imagination. All right. From Jay, Ashton Birdie. Is that Birdie or as in the birdie or the bald eagle? Okay, that's like a non-question.
I thought it was English.
Young Pay. I'm mostly thinking about guys like Mark.
Okay.
From Shadow Band Man. I don't know. Gavin doesn't have the luxury of bearing the brunt. I'm not sure.
That's another inside joke for my
show. Okay. All right. This is Randy Chase is back for 5. Ashton, go ahead with your full-on anti-Israel rant. I don't know what this has to do with anything. Is it the phony ass wars you think Trump went on? He seems obsessed.
I'm sorry,
with
but
Israel.
questioning the Israeli government's intent and relationship with the United States, the same as the Chinese government relationship with the United States, the same as the United States government in relationship with its own citizens, is not anti. I mean, I guess I am anti-Israel, anti-governments in general. But he's basically just trying to call me an anti-Semite.
Trying to goad you into something.
The typical. I mean, this is a dude who's like definitely a QAnon type for sure. I can guess. I'm not going to go into it.
MG, can someone wake up Gary Biscayne?
What do you want me to say? I'm right here, people.
And then Randy is a fan of yours, Geno. You're awesome, man. Keep up the great work.
Geno does look like he's watching some sort of like snuff film in the background of the stream.
Well, I was just look. You know me, guys. I'll talk and I'll talk incessantly when there's something. But I'm just drinking all this in right now.
Wait, I'm blocking everybody with my logo. It should have been me here the whole time. I know. I'm such an idiot. I should have. Oh, wait, did you take that away, Frank? All right, she took.
Why don't you just put the logo?
I don't know.
Right or left
I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how to do that.
Oh shit!
I should do this when I don't wear any makeup. Just like let the logo go on my face. All right, fuck it. Sorry, guys. All right. Do you guys want to hear more of the WTF podcast? Do you guys feel like we've covered it? I want to play a little bit more because I think that this guy chimes in. This comedian historian guy.
I want to hear a little bit from the. I want to hear a little bit from the fucking. What is it? The comedy historian, for fuck's sakes, Chrissy.
Cliff Nestoroff. All right, let me see if I can find that part.
Just trying. And you break it down. It's exciting to be rallied around and make people laugh at something that's incorrect, wrong.
Oh, and now he's going back on it?
Hurtful. It frees it up and it enables people who are probably might be polite or respectful and might not use those words to sort of, kind of get a little juice, get a little relief, get a little laugh, be like, yeah. Except for the one person that's crying, or the one person,
Oh,
two
God.
people that
So you're going to let them ruin it for everybody
mentally
else?
disabled, or the one person that can't live in their body anymore, or the 5 people. It doesn't matter how many.
All right. Somebody in the chat is saying,
Why do it?
It's 15 minutes in.
If you're
For me, it
crying
was
at a
to
comedy
provoke.
show, you have the most privileged
I
fucking
wanted to be
life I've ever
provocative.
seen.
So true.
I wanted to provoke, need, or desire. And this serves the movement towards an anti-democratic, fascistic system that is fighting to conquer here. And I don't know if these comics know that or if they care.
Oh, he's saying that
but
we're
what they're doing is
tools of the right wing.
fundamentally pissing on the less fortunate, the vulnerable, the marginalized,
How?
the
Oh, my
minorities.
God. Who gives
Free speech is an American right, sure. And you can't say whatever the fuck you want. You can. No one's ever said you can't. You just have to shoulder what comes back at you. You have to shoulder the responsibility of what you reap after you've sown your garbage.
I've been to too many rich black people's houses
This
to ever see
idea
them as less fortunate.
that
Right.
You can't say anything anymore. This victim position, this grievance about this impediment to your free speech is nothing new. I saw a bunch of tweets running by my feed. I'll read them to you. Or
Yay.
what they were. There was an interview with comedian George Gobel in 1957. Quote, "Now, don't get me wrong. I think it's wonderful to live in a country where big, powerful networks have to pay attention to the little guy's likes and dislikes. That's enlightened democracy. But a TV comic nowadays needs the soul of a seismograph to know where the next rumble of public wrath is coming from. We have to be verbal tightrope walkers."
Okay, I'm sorry. Can we stop?
64 years ago. Worried
Yeah,
that
yeah.
telling jokes.
This guy's rambling on with word salad.
He's going back to Lenny Bruce days when, you did get arrested for swearing. You did get arrested for saying cunt and pussy. And that was a crazy, tyrannical time where free speech was under siege by the government. And it was a horrible event. Like Lenny Bruce was persecuted to death. But today, sure, it's not the government. It's assholes like Marc Maron who are doxing your kids, fucking up their social lives, getting you fired, closing down your business, shutting down your fucking mom's business. So I don't really care if it's the government or the mob that's doing it. I just don't like this tyrannical enforcement of speech. And the idea that, well, there was tyranny in the 50s and now there's tyranny of the woke mob, so get over it. Fuck you. There was tyranny in fucking Venezuela and Czechoslovakia under Stalin and fucking Cuba and China today. What does that mean? Tyranny's always been around. Get over it? No, I'm not fucking getting over it, Mark, you bitch. And I cannot wait till they come for you, because all of this shit, all it takes is one disgruntled bitch with a rich dad and your whole life is over, Mark. And I cannot wait for your I love fucking underage girls bit to blow up in your face.
We're all gonna get the same crew together when that happens, and we'll do another live stream of Mark being canceled. Young Pei Chang, my only Asian fan. I mentioned Mark in terms of folks selling out, not so much Joe canceling Gavin. I think there's a difference. If Joe and Mark were to croak tomorrow, only one of them would go down as a legend. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna unpause this. I want to get to the point where he brings in the historian.
Was getting too risky.
Please.
Arthur Godfrey hammered it home pretty explicitly in 1962. Quote, "Now you can't kid anyone anymore. Negro and Italian jokes are out. It's sad," unquote. Go back 14 years earlier. Red Skelton was saying the same thing in 1948.
I'm sorry, just one more pause. The woman who's done all this research is...
You beat me to it. Why did he do all this research? What is he doing? Go on. I'm sorry, Gavin.
Do it. It's a 21-year-old Jewish girl with perfect tits that he face.
Really? What does she look like? What's her name? Oh,
I'm guessing. Her name
look her up.
Probably
By the way, where are they broadcasting from in the future where these Negro and Italian jokes are out of date? I don't know where this is coming from.
Yeah. You can't make fun of Italians. No way. Ask Sebastian Maniscalco, poor guy.
Yeah, and don't say Negro. You're stealing the president's bit, Josh.
Drinks pee.
Yeah, I tweeted when that happened. I go, everybody knows Josh Gibson was the Negro of the time. How dare he?
But I swear,
Italians anymore?
I'm obviously guessing, but the odds are very high 90s, that the woman who did all of this research for his thing, he came up with the concept, and then she had to go there, and then he fucked her face, and then he fell asleep. That's
You're
his
big
life.
on the fucking the face, aren't you, Gavin?
And then he said, "Here's my credit card. Order whatever you want for dinner."
Yeah. That's what these guys do. They don't eat the pussies of these young girls they're with. They just fuck their faces. And
That's
fall
so
asleep.
selfish.
They
I
don't
can't
even
stand
fuck them.
that. Ugh. It's just if you're in a relationship and you're giving mostly blowjobs, girl, you are not in a relationship. I feel like I need to give a TED talk on that.
Ladies, your face should be fucked 1/20th of the sexual
Really, 1/20th?
Out of 20 times, one of them should be a face fuck.
Oh, face fucking. Okay, you don't mean blowjobs. You just mean like a face fucking.
No, like, and then he's done.
So that's
But
once
I'm
about
guessing
once a
with Marc
month.
Maron, it's like 60% of the time.
Interesting. Okay.
This data is purely subjective, but I feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
Quote, people worry about everything these days. I'd like to be able
I'm
to
gonna
say,
fast
hey,
forward.
look, we're all minorities of some kind, right, people? We can make fun of whoever we want. We're all minorities here. And if you think it's a modern concept to push back on this type of thinking, check out this editorial from Variety in 1945 titled
Jesus Christ.
Funny Men. I quote again. Comedians persist in being among the worst offenders against racial minorities.
This is Variety.
Not because comedians are
In
biased, but
1945.
because so many are thoughtless of consequences. Anything for a giggle.
He's using this to like elaborate on the point, like, oh, this cancel culture idea is not new. He's making it like, oh, we're evolving as a society.
Unquote.
It's not true.
1945. We can do it
You didn't
instantly
get
with
canceled
Squarespace
like
tools.
this. You could have. The term offensive has existed. People have been offended for a while now, but doxing your kid's school, that's pretty new.
That's wait, he did that to you?
No, but my kid's school got doxed.
Oh.
Or how about the FBI? How about the FBI breaking into James's home, take James O'Keefe's home,
taking
all
his
of
shit,
computer equipment, and then divulging all of the contents to the New York Times. Is that just another day in the life of people being offended?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Well,
getting
what exactly James O'Keefe? All he did was basically report on the diary of Joe Biden's daughter, right? Is that like what led to it? Like what exactly?
Which he didn't want to have.
Yeah, which they didn't publish.
This is salacious, but I can't validate it, so I don't want it. He called law enforcement and said, "Someone gave me this diary. I can't validate it, so I don't want anything to do with it. Can you take it?" And they went, "I don't give a shit. Go fuck yourself." And then it turned out to be true, and that's when the shit hit the fan.
Which sounds like a responsible journalistic move. Like, hey, I'm not going to publish this juicy thing that I have.
Why raid James O'Keefe and not the president who supposedly did stuff to his daughter?
Well, what do you think is easier?
Why I'm an anarchist.
Yeah.
But you know the answer to that because it's the left that's running everything, and they're trying to save their fucking ass.
It's not just the left and the right. It's the whole system altogether. It's just a big muck, honestly. It's just the system altogether. I don't believe in left versus right, which I know Gavin might debate me on. You might as well too, Geno. I think left and right are now terms used to pit us against one another, and they only exist because we allow them to exist.
Well, if they're just terms using to pit us against each other, they worked. Because
exactly, they do work. And I don't believe the two parties are both working together. They're both working together. They're both trash. Joe Biden sucking, off Dan Crenshaw for all I know. So
why is it every liberal I meet is a fuckhead and every conservative I meet is at the worst naive, but not evil.
or too pearl clutchy. They're a little pearl clutchy.
Yeah. They hate gays and like smoking marijuana. They don't want to ruin anyone's fucking life.
Right. They're not going to get anybody fired. Okay.
Well, basically, whatever we have in mind, we can make happen. Launch use the offer code WTF comedy with him. He's been curating those historical accounts on his Twitter feed at Classic Showbiz for the past month or so. Classic is the author of The Comedians, Drunks, Thieves, Scoundrels, and the History of American Comedy. And his latest book,
These guys suck each other's dicks so much.
Problem, the unheralded story of Native Americans and comedy. And he's here today to address the history of the grievance.
The unheralded history of Native Americans and comedy. There's one guy.
What we want to say.
Yeah, should I rewind that? Let's see.
There's one guy.
He's off your first purchase of a website feed at Classic Showbiz for the past month or so. Cliff is the author of The Comedians, Drunks, Thieves, Scoundrels, and the History of American Comedy. And his latest book is We Had a Little Real Estate Problem, the unheralded story of Native Americans and comedy.
What?
And he's here today to address the history of the grievance of not being able to say what we want to say when we want to say it because of all these sensitive people who are so easily triggered. Come on, can't they take a joke? The history of that. This is me talking.
That's us, guys.
Charlie Hill.
And it's live.
The only Native
it's
American comedian anywhere, ever.
Everybody has a good time there. All the crowd has a good time. All 3 shows. It's just like, isn't it amazing when it had that down period, like in the early 2000s? Like it was gonna end.
Well, yeah, it's been through that a couple of times.
Yeah, it's amazing. Again, that's sort of the theme of this thing, the cyclical nature of comedy.
That was what was your
says the person who's never been on stage.
Also, he sounds like he could be gay, but he's trying to hide it.
Interesting to me about seeing your tweets. My producer Brendan brought it to my attention that
Brendan. I wonder if he's face fucking Brendan.
Reeling off this stuff is that in light of what is happening, my criticism has been all along that no one's telling you can't say anything.
Gotta get
but if you do say something and there are repercussions,
you lose your fucking job.
But more than that, it's that I don't know whether I don't know if they're comics or activists or this whole idea of anti-woke comedy or the fight for freedom of speech, that what a lot of this material and a lot of these comics are what's happening is they're being turned out by right-wing propaganda. That whether they're willingly doing that.
Wow. We're being pimped by the right wing. That's what they're telling us.
This is like his mind is so narrow that he can't possibly imagine people genuinely feeling different than him and genuinely being for free speech, that we must be tools of the right wing.
This is what infuriates me about this conversation. And Geno, you can agree with this. I hate when people try to pretend like there's some sort of meritocracy of ideas when it comes to comedy. When you look at the way the industry rewards people for having the right opinions who have never been fucking funny a day in their lives. When comedians like Amanda Seales get a fucking hour special on HBO, and Amanda's never been funny a day in her fucking life because all she does is pander to black people who think they're perpetual victims. And then there are real funny people, at least 4 of them on this fucking on this stream right now, that are way funnier than that person who who arguably will never get that same kind of push no matter how funny they are, because they have what are perceived as the wrong ideas. It's like, that's
this
insane.
Is what we talked about this. Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to back up what you're saying before you got in here. It's literally that the sadness of this progressive comedy where you're a victim of the Netflix machine, of the one we were talking about, and she was great. She's another one like Amy Schumer. Phoebe Robinson, when she first started out, she was funny, but then she got 2 dope queens, and now she's got an HBO special, Sorry Harriet Tubman, which, to quote Aaron Berg, should be called Sorry Aaron Berg, because there's nothing funny about it. And her closer is a 15-minute bit about holding in a fart in front of Michelle Obama. And
that's not brave.
It's it's brave that it would have been brave for her to do it if she realized how fucking unfunny it was. And these people, and I don't mean the blacks, these people, I feel bad for them in a way, because
not you people, these people.
Yeah, they're working. They're not fucking getting the joy of making people laugh. They're not, and I'm not trying to sound artistic. I'm not trying to sell a Dianetics book, but you said it, Seals and fucking Robinson, they get up there and they're like, all right, I'm black and I have a special, and now what? You have people writing jokes for you that you're not telling jokes, you're memorizing. You're showing up to give a speech. Ugh. It's got to be a nightmare. I just had a mini stroke. It's got to be a nightmare. And I feel bad for these people. I pity the fool. I pity these people that don't get to experience the comedy we get to do. When I'm doing, I don't mean to brag, LOL on a Tuesday. This is me just rubbing your nose in my success, Josh, but I'm sorry. There's just something about genuinely making people laugh. And the same people that you make laugh, when you tell a joke that dies and they just say no, there's nothing better than that. You're like, oh, you people really like that last joke because you think that one sucked. There's nothing better than that. And for you to get up there fucking because you checked off the boxes and now you're like, all right, make sure you guys pay attention to that big applause sign when I get done and intonate at the end of my joke. What a nightmare. What a fucking nightmare.
And it's so it's very hypocritical. Oh, we're above, we're so inclusive. We're above ad hominems, but it's completely okay to make fun of white people, white guys, Trump, white women are a huge target. So don't pretend that you're above making fun of people for the color of their skin or their gender. Like, just say we're going to be racist, but in the opposite direction, or we're going to be, you know what I mean? Like, don't pretend that you're above that because everybody laughs at jokes they shouldn't that are racist, whatever. It's just that, it's okay now to shit on white people.
I say it to black straight comic. I say it to straight male black comics now. It's like, sorry, kids, you missed your window. You're barely a step fucking, you're a step above or below whatever you want to call it, the white devil that is me. But your time is come and gone. You're part of the problem. You're listed with Dave Chappelle and fucking homophobes like Eddie Murphy. I'm sorry, but you had your time. It's gone. And welcome.
This reminds me of a time a Jew, a Chinaman, and a black guy walk into a bar.
Go on.
And the Jew says, I'll have a Guinness. And the Chinaman goes, I'll just have a glass of water, please. And the black guy goes, yeah, I'll get a Makers on the Rocks. And they're walking to an Irish bar. And the Irish bartender looks at me and goes, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Get out of here.
It doesn't matter what they ordered.
Or that reminds me of the time. It reminds me of the time a Asian dude walks into a bar. There's a black bartender, and he goes, "Pour me a jigger." And,
I know this joke, and I love it. I've heard this joke 5 times, and I'm going to laugh like a maniac when he gets to the punchline.
The bartender is like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" He goes, "Pour me a jigger, N-word." And he goes, "That's not funny, man, and it's offensive to me." How would you feel if you were the bartender and you walked into a bar and someone spoke to you that way? And he goes, I wouldn't give a shit. And he goes, oh yeah, why don't you try it? So he takes off his apron, he gives it to the Asian dude, and the Asian dude gets behind the bar, and then the black guy leaves the bar and walks back in, and he goes, get me a drink.
That rhymes.
The Asian dude just goes, what? Oh, well, we don't serve blacks in here.
That's not what he says. He says we don't serve in this bar. And
all
it's
right.
never not funny.
My gosh,
you can't
Jesus
done
Christ.
it. I didn't say it. That fucking in the joke said it.
All right,
Jesus Christ.
You're giving my editing
by making it woke.
You're giving my editing guy so much work to do.
It's
all right.
such a funny joke.
Well, your
all right,
editing guy is a and a and he loves
I'm playing the podcast.
Momentum in the country. It's disconcerting. And I don't know that a lot of them know that. And I don't think the fight is real.
Don't make me be
whatever
ill.
they're fighting.
Yeah. In the 70s, the only real provocateur was like a Andy Kaufman or a Tony Clifton, where he didn't care if he got laughs. The point
Andy
was
Kaufman, and that just...
and now there seems to be a
Andy Kaufman's such a freaking shill now. Are you kidding me?
Andy Kaufman, Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse. Oh, he was a real fucking
pushing boundaries
provocateur
at the time
of provocateurs, where it's like the purpose is to provoke. Then people do get provoked, and then they're aghast that you would be provoked by their provocation. And I find that bizarre. I also don't understand the motivation
to get a laugh
of why you would get into comedy for reasons other than to get laughs.
Well, I don't know what's happened, but I think it is the power of
because they
political
hand you
propaganda,
money
whether
now.
they know it or not. that there is, you now have this huge swath
ask
of the
Nanette.
comedy landscape that they don't have to answer to regular show business. They've all built their worlds.
Like
it's
you.
there really is this. Not only does cancel culture not really exist, but there are guys out there doing what you would normally be what they think canceled for.
It doesn't exist, Josh.
They're dying to get on mainstream TV and films. You mean like a Netflix wrestling show?
Right. that was nominated for a bunch of Emmys and Golden Globes. Yeah, why would anybody want to do that?
Fiber kissing ass?
Ridiculous. Yeah, there's no such thing as cancel culture. Tell that to the 2 blacks in my tweets right now. They're trying to get my Food Network show canceled at the moment.
Wow, canceled again after all this time.
There's not an amount of press that will ever end that shit ever, because that just shows you how much black people don't read or watch the news. They just don't know.
Josh, you know what you should do is just quit the show. So they
you
can't
should just
cancel
quit.
it.
I should resign. You guys are right. I should walk away.
Tell them all that you're quitting.
Should walk away with my millions of dollars.
And you should get a day job for like 2 days.
Be great.
That they are unaffected by any repercussions because they have their audience. Like someone like Joey Diaz, who I like, when he gets like a pushback for anything, he's like, fuck yourself.
Joey Diaz, who has made it, who has a huge audience, who can make his living, who can fill rooms. We're talking about the people that are building their audiences still, that might still need their day job, that might not want their, kids' school doxxed or, you know what I mean? Like, to be sort of found out.
Is this point that everyone should be like Joey Diaz and just tell everyone to fuck off?
Maybe. I mean,
earlier we were saying getting canceled at Ashton's age and career is very different than getting canceled at 46. Joey Diaz, I don't think anyone wants to cancel him because he has an ethnic name. But even if they did, he's fucking 50.
Right.
What are you going to do?
And he's got all the right friends. You know what I mean? He's got powerful, high-level comedy friends.
Yeah, after you've made your first million, you can afford to be pretty fucking blasé about it. But when you're still on the climb and you're still trying to fucking make ends meet, it can be pretty.
Yeah, you don't want to lose.
It can be a pretty big obstacle to overcome.
Waitress job or whatever.
Ask Sam Hyde about getting canceled earlier in your career.
I don't know who Sam Hyde is.
How do you not know who Sam Hyde is? He's responsible for every major shooting in America.
I'll back you up, Chrissy. I don't either.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I know
Sam
I've heard
Hyde is the funniest man alive today. He did the most interesting stand-up that's ever been done. He was a black guy. He was a feminist. He hacked a bunch of TED Talks as a Somali
for every
fucking trans awareness person. And then he was so popular, he had a show on Adult Swim that was
$1 million. He was the $1 million extreme guy, right?
Yep, it was fucking fantastic. It was gold. And then it got canceled by this woke moron named Joe Brownstein, I think. And Joe declared that there was subliminal racist messages, swastikas hidden behind walls you couldn't see, just made up bullshit, systemic racism stuff. And Tim Heidecker got involved. They jumped on board and they destroyed the show, ended his career. Adult Swim then went woke, and when everything woke turns to shit, so Adult Swim died shortly after Sam Hyde was ostracized. He has his own thing going on right now, and it's more lucrative than ever. So he's doing great on a sort of pay-per-view thing where behind a paywall, because the mainstream can't handle him. And he's doing fantastic, but, he was canceled at a young age.
And before a lot of the platforms, before platforms like like Censor TV or whatever existed, right, Gavin? So
correct.
There was that huge gap between his ability to go out and do for himself and when he was canceled, because this was 10 years ago.
Christy, do you remember when a lot of the school shootings were happening and people kept putting out this picture of this dude with blonde hair and glasses holding a gun? Everyone's like, this is the guy who did it. And it wasn't him, it was just a meme. That's Sam Hyde. So everyone makes the joke that he's responsible for every major shooting across America.
Well, that's because when when Sutherland Springs happened, an actual congressman said it was him.
But that's the joke, Josh. That's the joke.
Yeah, that's the thing is like it's when you get canceled earlier on in your career, you're not able to build your following. And it's like, well, okay, a few people were triggered, were upset by what you said, but you're also not giving the chance for hundreds, potentially thousands of people to enjoy your content and who don't have a problem with what you say. And it's like
That's
the
what
bullying.
annoys me about this whole Marc Maron thing is he's talking about shit and he doesn't like his references are Lenny Bruce and Eddie Murphy and fucking Louis C.K. Like he's not familiar with younger comedians trying to make it. He's never heard of any of us. He's never heard of anyone else who has been canceled. It's sort of this ethereal concept to him. He knows like Trump.
Well, he's also losing all of his spots to these kinds of comedians. And the thing is like people like him and Whitney are having trouble getting dates because people like Tim Dillon are eating up all the theater dates. And so you're seeing this with like people like Che and the Che thing that happened today. And you see it with Maron. These guys, especially post-pandemic, are getting really bitter because now they're in line behind all of these podcasters for theater shows. And a guy like Marc Maron, who isn't in the know, is like, who the fuck is Tim Dillon? Who the fuck is Andrew Schultz?
Wait, what's
and it's
the
like
Che thing that happened today?
I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay, I think you guys might have done it already.
But this is very pertinent.
But it's very much about now they can't get the dates they want, and they're thinking, well, I have an HBO show and I'm on SNL and I can't get get the dates I want to tour. And it's like, because these podcasters are selling more tickets.
So briefly,
bitching about the existence of podcasts.
Yeah. Briefly, this is the drama, and I just, this just came out today. So I guess somebody DM'd or Che in his Instagram. It said Tim fucking Dillon, and then somebody's telling him he makes $190,000 a month on Patreon. And Che puts in his stories, I don't care if it's a zillion. I know Tim Dillon, and he ain't what you think he is. He's a sweet, humble guy who really tried at stand-up, got nowhere, became a media personality because it's much easier. And we're all very happy for him, but don't get fresh, Tim. And then Tim's response is, here's the reality.
Shit.
Here's the reality, which is exactly what Josh is saying. I sell more tickets than Michael Che ever has. I don't think he's allowed to use this website per his job, being on Weekend Update on SNL. Yep. And I've built something on my own that he could never do. Che has done well for a drunk who can barely read, but his show sucks. And he knows it. And then I think Che's response to this was like, all fair points, and I'm very proud of Tim. I don't want no trouble. So he backs down after Tim responds. We're all very happy for him. And then the memes flow. Interesting, though.
Wait, and who could honestly say that Tim Dillon tried his darndest at stand-up, but unfortunately did not work out for him, and it was a complete flop?
If failing is doing fucking 50 theater dates around the country, I can't wait to
sold out the Beacon during the New York Comedy Festival this week.
Yeah,
sold
I would love to fail that hard.
Yeah.
What a loser. I can't wait to see this loser at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. And then, not to toot my own horn, but then I tweeted, I was commenting on this as Josh.
Yourself into this
shut up. Okay. So hold on. Where's my thing that I wrote? Okay.
Chrissie nailed
Stop it. Okay. I said, not all of us.
Chrissie.
Shut up. Not all of us are lucky enough, like Michael Che was, to be an SNL diversity hire after only doing 2 years of stand-up. He's jealous of Tim Dillon. That Tim Dillon can make a killing doing whatever he wants creatively while he's stuck being a slave for NBC. And then, of course, people like to say that I'm racist for calling him a corporate slave, but that's what he is. He's got the golden handcuffs, and he was plucked out at very early on in his career. Of course, so many, who knows? If I had been 2 years into stand-up, I wouldn't have said no to an SNL gig.
You'll get there, Chrissie.
Oh, stop! I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I wasn't nailed down to something where you can't really express yourself creatively. But there's no reason for Che to shit on how much money Tim Dillon's make. They both make great money. They're not in competition with each other. They each have great careers. So why would Che shit on Tim Dillon if not for jealousy over his creative freedom? Because they both make a great living.
Because Che can't do the same kind of stand-up numbers that Tim Dillon can.
Exactly.
Nope.
Exactly. Che might make as much money as Tim from his shows or whatever, various, but he can't go if it ended tomorrow and he went out on the road, there's no way he would be able to sell the tickets that Tim does. It's that simple. Because at the end of the day, you could argue
turns to shit.
Yes, and you could argue, people go, well, Tim only makes that kind of money on Patreon because Joe Rogan put him on. Yeah, but Joe Rogan's put on 1 million people. They all don't sell out the Beacon. They all don't sell out Austin 5 nights in a row. Like, Tim is an undeniable talent, and when people like that get a platform, whether it's Rogan or SNL, they can go on and have success doing whatever the fuck they want. Che's not in that level at that level yet, and it drives them nuts because in those people's minds, and Marin the same thing, the resentment comes from I'm doing all the right things, so why am I not bigger? Why do I not sell more?
I'm
tickets?
doing what I'm told to
following
do.
the rules, right? Like,
Yeah.
Why am I not more famous? Gives me money. Please.
Because you're an
Dillon on my
inauthentic fraud.
I had Tim Dillon on my show, like, I don't know, 8 years ago on Compound on the Gavin McInnes show. And I could tell he was an immutable talent. I begged him to be my co-host. He was getting attacked by his faggot friends, but he said yes. We did a couple shows, and then he immediately became way too big for Compound, which is mostly losers, by the way.
We can hear you.
We can hear you, okay?
I'm listening.
No,
I'm
I
up
pressed
here.
mute. Hold on a sec. I thought I
Okay,
pressed
that's
mute.
better. Little goddamn respect.
Yeah.
And he rocketed on to success. I mean, that's the thing about comedy. That's what I love the most about comedy, actually, is it's like art, like painting or anything. It's these sprinkles, and you see someone like Louis C.K. and you're like he could read the instructions to IKEA furniture, and you're like, you got it. I know you have this magic gift. And that's what everyone loves about it. It's 1% of the population. Within that 1%, I would say 6-7% are male, 3% are female. But we're talking about this many people. And Tim Dillon's one of them. I don't think Michael Shea is. Sorry. He's an affirmative action hire. And SNL is famous for that. Do you remember like a couple, maybe 5 or 10 years ago? I'm not good with years. Lorne Michaels was criticized for not having enough black women. And he said, well, when we go to these rehearsals, I'm dying for black women, but they're not there. And then what's his name? The Bill Cosby kid from Nickelodeon, who's a regular there. What's his name again?
Malcolm Jamal Warner?
No, Keenan
Thompson. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Keenan Thompson goes, he defended Lorne Michaels, and he goes, he's right. I've been to these auditions, and I'm sorry, but out of like 50 people, 2 of them will be black women, and they are not ready, which is a nice way to say they suck. So that became black women aren't funny, according to SNL. They got this fucking tsunami of pressure to hire black women. So they hired a bunch of black female writers that were really just white mulattoes who had never met their black dad. And then they got Leslie Jones, a bona fide black woman who's blackety black. Her brother was a crack dealer.
In her fucking 50s, by the way. They had to get a woman who'd been in stand-up for 25 years in her 50s to get somebody remotely funny enough to be on the show.
And she had given up on stand-up. She tried it probably as much as Michael Shea. And she decided to go back to being her crack dealer brother's sister, where she would deal crack. So her comedy is like, motherfuckers, you know when you're dealing crack and a motherfucker come up to you and he's like, I don't got money. And you're like, bitch, you better have money, motherfucker. So
isn't that so funny though? Like it's so
her
entertaining.
comedy is the most stereotypical, which is why I think it's so funny that everyone's like, you can't talk like this, you can't talk about things like this. But then they get like, say, like a gay person asked the most flamboyant possible, and they get Leslie Jones act as ghetto as possible.
They can't get Tim Dillon, which is the most low-key gay. He's such a low-key gay that Nicole, what was her name? What the fuck was her name? Arbor was like, I have a crush on Tim Dillon. Like, I don't even think she knew that he was gay.
She didn't know he was
He
gay.
doesn't talk about
I love
it.
I love that Gavin's impression of Leslie Jones is just Tracy Morgan. So every white person's impersonation of black people is Tracy Morgan.
Her first bit is like, if we were back in slave days, then I would be the #1 breeder, because they'd be like, LeBron James out my pussy, motherfucking Michael Jordan out my pussy.
Oh my God.
And it's actually
That's
kind
actually
of
a dead on reinterpretation of the bit. Dead on.
This is a real bit of hers?
That's a real bit.
Yeah.
LeBron
And then
James
the
out the
NAACP
pussy, I believe, is the verbatim.
NAACP's furious because they go, this is racist. And you're like, A, it's funny. B, it's true. If Leslie Jones was around in slave times, she would be, because she's a fucking monster. She would be a great thing to breed with. So she's doing a good bit. You asked for black woman comedy, you got it.
This is here's a good example. Here's a good example of wokeism ruining comedy. One of the guys I got into it with when my first cancellation happened in 2018 was Ian Carmel. And Ian Carmel used to have this great bit that he did about how if the NBA didn't exist, that Shaq would just live up in the hills and come down and steal goats from the village. And he would have no career or life. And it was the funniest fucking thing ever. And he cut it from his special and never performed it because executives told him it's racist to even pontificate on a black man's life without basketball. It's insane. He's the man's 8 feet tall. He would be banished into the, we didn't have professional sports. It was a funny bit, and he never did it. Even on his fucking Netflix half hour, he didn't do it because he was terrified of the backlash. And it's when comics are not doing the funniest thing because they're afraid of having work taken away, you can't say there's no cancel culture.
Yeah. And what does it hurt? It hurts art. It hurts color. It hurts. I like the Leslie Jones bit. I like your cave bit. I never heard that bit before. I want those bits in my life. They're amusing to me. Why are you taking them away? You fucking woke.
And
my time traveling Holocaust joke, Geno. Should I not be able to do that joke?
The Shadow Bandman. Leslie Jones is a Marc Maron of comedy. And here's the thing about hiring by diversity. Aren't you always gonna wonder, was I hired for the color of my skin, or was I hired for my merit? Was it 80% the color of my skin? You know what I mean? I imagine you would get a complex over how much of it is because I'm qualified versus how much of it is a diversity hire. Would Michael Che have gotten this job if he were white? Well, maybe. I would hope so.
But
but that's the thing.
What about you when you're in a list of comedians that it's called Super Comedy Night, and there's 5 guys and you? Do you think, and this is purely hypothetical, I'm not accusing you of anything, but do you think, was I just thrown in here because they wanted at least one chick in the mix?
Well, that's the reality of stand-up is the token female, and I have embraced that. I'm lucky and grateful that I'm doing more headlining shows so that it's the actual fans I've built are coming out to see me, or they love comedians in the compound. But I would be lying if I didn't use the token chick thing to my advantage. I would be I know that most produced shows need at least one chick. So that's an advantage. And I think every type of person in comedy has an advantage, so to speak. You have an advantage if you're friends with the producer. You have an advantage if you yourself produce a show. Then people will be nice to you and put you on their shows to trade spots.
No, Chrissy, you have an advantage because you're a genuine comedian and you get that. And there's a lot of females.
When you start out, it's
but I'm paying you the compliment because a lot of females would not say what you said, and they'd be like, "Oh, I got this because I'm funny," and you're not. You're not funny. You got it because of everything you just said. But when you got it, you said, "All right." What's that?
Did you just say Chrissy's not funny?
No. Well, I implied it, but it was I'm kidding. But you get what I'm saying. You said you know why you got it. You said, now I'm here regardless of why I'm going to be funny.
Yeah,
I'm going to work. I'm going to make sure that I fucking make them remember me by being funny. But other people that get it are like, I got this because I'm funny, and they don't fucking write a goddamn fucking joke. And then they have a special called Sorry at Harriet Tubman or whatever the fuck Amanda Seales was called. And I've said this before, people like me and Josh, we're straight white, wink, wink, males well over 35. So you know how we get more work? Same way. By being funny. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because these people circling all the way back, like Michael Che, God bless him, he's great at what he does, reading fucking comedy on Weekend Update, but he never got in the reps and he never got a chance to get the reps, and he will never get a chance to get those reps in because now whenever he gets in front of people, they will laugh no matter what he says, and he will never really get that funny. And people will go see him once and be like, yeah, he's great, but I like him better on Weekend Update. Whereas Tim Dillon will sell out the Beacon, fucking go and crush it, and then people will come back and say, we got to see him next time he comes back, and bring more fucking people.
And you know what sucks is that Michael should not, like, I'm sure he has a ton of limitations on what he can do and say and tweet and what he could do in his stand-up act. And like, that sucks. I feel like Kate McKinnon, a huge talent. I would be shocked if she didn't feel so stifled by, I'm sure everybody at SNL feels stifled to a degree, unless they're just totally line step, you know, with the message. But I feel bad if Che is feeling stifled. No, it makes sense why he would be jealous of a Tim Dillon.
Well, and when you talk about the when people start bitching about the numbers, my mom's boyfriend when I was young, James, who was a black dude, when I first, I was like 9 when
wow.
they started.
I guess you
No, my mom's. Did I say wife? My mom's.
You said your wife's boyfriend.
No, my mom's boyfriend when I was a kid. But anyway, my wife has multiple boyfriends, and I don't know any of their names, but they're all some sort. They're all.
This
they're
is
all
a lot
some
of
sort
fun, right?
athlete.
I'm not the only one having a great time, right? Just check it. Okay, go on.
But no, he told me, you know, when I was talking with him about racism when I was a kid, he said, I don't blame white people for all the bad things in my life, because then I'd have to give them all the credit for the good things. So it's like there's this weird thing about when you sort of forego meritocracy and say, I'm at the mercy of the universe and the universe is unfair. You don't then get to turn around and spike the ball when you think you're doing well. So like somebody like Che can't be like, I have all this money and success and fuck Tim Dillon. It's like, weren't you just complaining that the white man is preventing you from fucking accomplishing anything a week ago, and now you're the king of all shit?
Yeah,
that's why people don't like LeBron. That's why people don't like LeBron.
You are responsible for your own actions. I don't think that was true in 65. If you're a black man and you're a smart guy, I could see that you were held back, and that sucks. Don't get me wrong. But if you're born at 1970 and up, sorry, folks, your predicament in life is up to you.
Yeah.
And your success is up to you. But I will say that we are among these fucking weird gremlins who are trying to sabotage our lives. I don't know where they came from, but they're like this strange hex of lunatic bees that fucking dox people, get them canceled, get them fired, and they are sabotaging meritocracy.
Yeah, so, by saying something like, I don't have a problem if people go, you shouldn't work Josh Denny because I don't think he's funny. That's fine. Don't tell people I'm a fucking
I've
white
said that twice, Josh. I've said that twice.
But don't tell people I'm a white supremacist. Like, tell them the shit that's true that should disqualify me. Don't make shit up.
I guess I find the big picture here is most of the shit that visible minorities complain about, where they go, everything's against me, it's systemic racism, is actually true of whites. Whites are I shouldn't say victims, I don't like that word, targets of systemic racism. They are seen as second-class citizens in Western society. I know it's an unpopular thought because Warren Buffett is rich and Bill Gates is rich, ergo all whites are rich. But the truth is, if you're a white male, middle-class, normal male, like the Covenant Catholic schoolboys, you're seen as a piece of shit. And if Kyle Rittenhouse was Deshaun Rittenhouse and he shot 2 MAGA dudes, he'd be a fucking hero right now. Just like the school shooter we just had, who black dude shot up a school. He had a party when he got back. His bail was like $25,000. He had a gay old time after his shooting. That shouldn't be the case.
Gavin, it's really interesting you mentioned, things that comes down to class, because there was a post the other day about a Trump supporter having Trump flags. Now, I'm not a Trump supporter anymore, so people, which I'm sure the chat hates me for, but the Trump supporter had Trump flags in their front yard, and they had a car that was from like the 1980s or 1990s, and everybody was ragging on this Trump supporter like, you're a Republican, you can't have a car from the century. It's like, where did this idea come from that people who are Republican or vote for Republican, or, even just like Trump, because not every Trump supporter is a Republican, has to have money, which is funny to me because almost every single white Democrat in my life is significantly wealthy. And a lot of the working class voted for Trump. So it's just
and if you look at who donates campaigns, the Democrats donate way more than the Republicans. The funding that goes into the White House, to Capitol Hill, is disproportionately Democrat.
I want to bring up, you guys are talking about this caught my eye earlier today. I'm going to bring this up. James Lindsay tweeted about this. I don't know if you guys caught this. This was on MSNBC. They're talking about these women are so racist, and they're basically talking about how there's not enough, I guess, like women in the trucking industry, and that supposedly the problem is that they haven't gotten the word out to women that they can be truckers.
If you count all the ones being carried around in the back of the trucks, there's plenty.
Human trafficking doesn't count, Josh. All right, so I want to hear your take on this clip.
My brother is a truck driver, and he drives across the country, and it's very nerve-wracking to me when he's on the road. Because it feels like a dangerous industry. But you're trying to disrupt that and bring more people who look like us to the industry. Tell us why.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thank you for having me this morning. And yes, we are. And we say we're not building truck drivers, but safe CMV operators, folks that can get back to their home whenever they're done with their shift. That's the most important part, ma'am.
Well, how can the industry be more welcoming? Because I have to tell you, I talked to a lot of truck drivers.
So she pushes this
preparing
issue
for this segment, and most of these truck drivers are people of color, and they talked about, hearing some of the racism over the CB. This is again an industry populated by a lot of white men over the age of 55. This group of people overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Some people have talked about, aggressive truck drivers cutting them off or not being helpful. So obviously, the more populated it is with people of color, I think you'll see less of that. But how can you encourage people to come and disrupt this space?
You will obviously see less of that.
Disrupt this space.
So how racist can you get? You're attributing not being nice on the road and poor driving to, of course. It has to be white people. Not just
you can't even see their race through the window. How would you know when you cut them off?
Also,
super high up. They're
what
like
is this
20 feet up.
What is this technology where we're watching this woman interview herself 50 years in the future? This is
after she went jogging, apparently.
Oh my God. She's like, yeah, if we could just get all these white guys out of trucking, it would be less dangerous on the road. Yeah, it's because they have a need to get there on time, you stupid bitch.
Okay.
If there's one thing the trucking industry needs, it's more black women. Because they are known for their very meticulous driving.
Well, I think just what you're doing, getting myself as a black female out there and letting people know I drove for almost 8 years. And yes, ran into lots of racism, but however was...
Look at this. Anybody want to do some quick math and tell me what this adds up to?
More than 100. That's got to add 76 and 22 right there is 98. So it's over 100. That doesn't make sense.
So, right. But look at this. Yeah, not a lot of women. I don't know. This doesn't seem like the best time to be pissing off truckers when we already have supply chain issues. I don't know. I could be wrong.
This is one of my
biggest Asians.
Black or African American. Black or African American.
You could be Nigerian or, from the Sudan.
This is why I'm a race denier. When people say I'm not white and they're fucking Peruvian or they're Morgan Freeman or there's some person that no one gives a shit if this person moves next to you. That's like 98% of the population. Sure, poor ghetto blacks, no one wants them moving next to them, the Shikwa or whatever. They have an argument about racism, and I'm open to hearing it. They have an ancestor, they have a background of slavery. Sure, we can talk to poor blacks about racism, but fucking some director who did like Benicio del Toro shows up and he's like, I'm Hispanic. It's horrible here. And you're like, no, dude, you're a fucking god. Shut the fuck up. You had nannies wiping your ass your whole life. You're not part of the racism thing. So I would say that racism as a subject, I'm open to discussing it with about 7% of the population. The rest can go fuck themselves.
So the 7.8% of women, Gavin?
And when it comes to this shit, and this is the same subject, when they talk about truckers and Oh, we have the first Native American astronaut. I fucking hate that shit because it implies that there was a bunch of qualified Native American astronauts, and we were like, sorry.
Yes.
We don't want no
Right.
straw in outer space, bitch. So you can just fucking stay in your teepee and get out of my fucking space shuttle because it ain't happening. If fucking a Native American was qualified to go to outer space, they would be sucking her cock until they were blue in the face because they were so excited to put her in the front window of the space shuttle.
Right, she'd
There
be
is
on the NASA pamphlet, you know?
There's no walls, there's no glass ceilings, there's no glass anything. So the whole like first we have our first female Jamaican, Indian, Canadian vice president. Okay, was there a bunch before her that people said, not on my watch, bitch? Like racism is a lie. It doesn't.
Well, and that's the thing is all these numbers are based on this weird expectation that the participation of a race should exceed their percentage of the populace.
Yes.
So like anytime the number of black people doing something is more than the black population, which is what, 13%, that's an overperformance or an overrepresentation. Like in crime, you know how it's like 70% of crime is done by black people? There's like 12% of the population. That would be what we would call a disproportionate representation. So it's the same. It's the same. It's the same thing with Hollywood. They're like, only 48% of Netflix things are people of color. It's like, yeah, they're 12% of the population.
Yeah. Well, they remember Oscars So White. They go, we're not getting any, and we looked it up. I think it was actually the Wall Street Journal who had the tenacity to look it up, which I was surprised. And they're like, it's about 14% of the Oscars go to blacks. So exactly the representation in the population. But this obsession with like, I don't want things to be white when I live in America. Whites are 70 to 80% of this country, if you include Hispanic whites. And if I lived in Japan, I wouldn't constantly be going, why is it every time I go to a museum, I'm looking at a bunch of fucking nips? I don't know, because you're in Tokyo, shithead. Sorry. Enjoy it.
And getting back to the truck driver point, like me and Ashton could tell you why there's not more female truck drivers is because women are less inclined to spend 6 weeks on the road away from their families, eating fast food, farting into
is this big.
Farting into a seat, 20 times a day. We're like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really enjoy long drives, but I definitely don't want to be gone.
My God. Imagine Ashton and Chrissie reversing an 18-wheeler into an alleyway. Everyone would be
parallel
glad.
park. I can parallel
You guys would totally be into it if there was a man who was held at gunpoint, forced to listen to your stories the whole drive. You would.
But
be
like,
all
let's
in.
stop pretending that like women know that they can be truck drivers. Every ethnicity knows.
We just don't
about
want
truck
to be.
driving. It's like, can we stop pretending that it's a race or ethnicity thing and that it's about preferences? There's nothing wrong with acknowledging preferences that people want to work on the jobs they want to work in. There's nothing fucking wrong with that.
Well, it's like women also don't want to be engineers. Women don't want to always be scientists. Let us have our babies. Like, there's a reason why majority of like career women go into things like marketing, because we don't want to sit there with our beakers and our big old goggles. We want to look cute at our desks or make babies. Like, that's just a fact of life. Women want to do the creative things to make the babies.
Or diddle ourselves on the internet for $100,000 a month.
Or sell pictures of our butthole.
Creators. I remember when they were called
more men.
whores.
Right.
We need to get more men in ballet. We need me, Josh, and Geno holding onto the bar.
I can do it.
Kicks.
My Asian fan does not.
We need better fat male representation in ballet and on OnlyFans. Let's do it, man. Let's get our OnlyFans going and our competitive dance.
There are zero fat gingers in ballet. Why?
Have you seen that South Park episode? Have you seen that South Park episode where Kyle wants to be a basketball player, so he gets plastic surgery to become black?
It's called a negroplasty.
I have to pee. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, this is going to go very badly.
Can we do more Negro? Okay, so this chink walks into a bar and the fucking bartender. Never mind. I thought it was great, Gavin. I love that bit.
Thanks. I blew it. Right now, Chrissie Mayr's pussy lips are opening up.
Here we go.
Spread
Here
over
we go.
a porcelain toilet, and her vagina is shooting out urine to a tune of 1,000,000 miles. Have you ever, whenever you hear a woman piss, you're like, have you been dying to piss for 3 days? It sounds like
it does. It comes out angry.
It's
like
really comes out angry. Calm down, vagina.
Wouldn't it be funny if we just saw a river of piss come down on Geno's head and then realize he's streaming from inside the toilet? The entire
Speaking of
time?
streaming,
Talk about
I'm gonna
live
piss right now.
streaming.
Watch this.
Oh God, are you peeing? No. All right, we're wrapping this up. This was good. This is great.
I'm taking a piss. I thought we were taking a piss break.
Gross.
Also, is that
All
a kimono hanging on the bathroom hook?
Yeah, what is that?
That's cultural
I don't know.
appropriation, Geno.
Oh my God, fucking Geno. All right.
He just got Blair Witched.
Those are my Rick and Morty pajama pants.
Could you have more?
You watch Rick and Morty? Like
cords
seriously?
wandering around your
Like,
fucking-
unironically, you watch Rick and Morty?
Oh, come on. You know you watch Rick and Morty.
No, it's horrible. I'm a pickle now, guys. Look at me, I'm a pickle. Like, oh my God, it's so funny because he's a pickle now. It's not funny.
It is so funny. My
chemistry.
nephew turned me
Not
on to it, and it's
All right,
goddamn
all right.
fucking hysterical.
We're wrapping it up, guys. This I thought we would go an hour.
Christy,
We
don't wrap it up too soon.
Boy, we sure stunk it to Marc Maron.
We're wrapping it up. This was great, guys. Thank you so much. Geno, plugs. Where can people find you and follow you?
4 days a week, Compound Media in hot water, and I drink with Gavin McInnes every Wednesday from 4:30 to 5:02 at Sullivan's.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks, Geno. Thanks for telling Antifa where to kill me.
Ashton Birdie. Ashton Birdie.
I'll jump in the way, buddy. Your life is more important.
Ashton Birdie.
You can follow me at Ashton Birdie, as is spelled on the screen, on Instagram and YouTube. And I have come back to Twitter after being dead for a couple years as the Ashton Blaze. TheAshtonBlaise.
Awesome. Okay, Gavin is pooping. Great. Josh Denny.
Yeah, you can find me at joshdennycomedy.com, Josh Denny on all the social medias. I have a podcast called Jacob, and people can watch my show on Gavin's Network, Censored.tv, next week tonight.
Amazing. Until Gavin gets back. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all the super chats and questions. We appreciate you so much. Come check out some of my stand-up comedy dates. Go to ChrissieMayr.com. Comedians of the Compound will be in Morris Plains, New Jersey on December 11th, and then I'll be
We will?
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Berg just confirmed that. I think the tickets just
we're
went
doing
up.
TIFFs.
Yeah, TIFFs. And then I'll be in Hartford, Connecticut at the Funny Bone December 12th, the Little Rock Looney Bin room on December 13th, and then December 15th and 16th, I will be at Hyenas in Dallas with Berg and Cumia, and then taping my debut album on January 6th, my favorite day, at Governor's in Levittown in Long Island. Tickets are available. Check out my website, ChrissieMayr.com. Follow me on Instagram at Chrissie Mayr Pod. I'm trying to get that back up to 10,000. I had 13 and then it was deleted for reasons. This was great, guys. Appreciate it. I love that we were all fired up, and this is a good thing to talk about. And it's interesting because during this podcast, Adam Newman, who's a stand-up comic, retweeted one of my tweets and said, "Oh, this is I don't normally shit on comics." He said, I gotta read this out. I don't usually comment on stand-up shit talking, but this is some straight up racist shit. And this was over a half hour ago. I said, Adam, DM me for the link. Would love to hear your take. And then I also commented on it. I know he's looking at his Twitter and he's such a pussy. He's not going to come on. And that's what these people do. They're all talk. They don't want to back up their claims. He can't actually prove that any of us are racist, but it looks fun to say that on Twitter. So anyway, Adam Newman's a pussy. Follow me on all the things. Watch Compound Media. I think Gavin fell out of the thing, but check out Gavin McInnes's show Off My Lawn on Censored TV. And also with Anthony Cumia, Wednesdays on compoundmedia.com. Did I forget anything, guys?
Who's on the wet spot tomorrow night?
Oh, I will tell you. Wet spot tomorrow is going to be Matt Maron, Andrea Bryant, Kennedy Carter, and Lucy Sunflower.
Love them. And let me say this and step over you. Happy birthday, Kayla. Kayla Flournay's birthday is
Oh,
today.
oh shit! Oh, thank you for telling me. I don't
3
know.
days after yours. That's how I know. Happy belated, Chrissie Mayr.
Oh my god, I don't think I hit her up yet. All right, thanks for reminding me.
Chrissie, when are you coming to Florida?
When am I coming to Florida? Oh, I'll be in March. March 20th, I'll be at Side Splitters in Tampa. I don't know if that's near you.
I
live
working
in
on
Florida.
a Comedians of the Combat. Oh, sorry to talk over you, but
I don't know.
Okay, then you guys go. I apologize.
I think Berg was working on something in Miami, but
And
I
then
think
he
he
was
got pushed
moving,
back. So we're gonna have to follow up with him on that. Cordy, I don't know what's gonna happen to the Compan shows. No, they're gonna keep going. I do know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, there's the studios in New York is staying, right, Chrissie?
Yes. Cumia is going to do shows from a studio in his new house, and everyone will continue on as normal in New York.
And he's going to fly back for big guests that want to do in-person stuff in New York.
Ooh, okay, that's good to know. Ashton, did I cut you off before?
No, you're fine. I'm based in South Florida, so I'd have to.
Oh shit. Okay. I'll definitely hit you up when I'm in Florida.
You're
Guys,
based, period. Isn't that what the kids say? You are based, baby.
I'm based, period. Oh,
There
God.
you go.
based, period.
Well, it depends on what kind of what is based. I feel like it depends on the person calling you based.
I thought it was a good thing. I have no fucking idea. I'm just trying to.
It is a good thing. It is a good thing. It's just what based means. Doesn't really make. I don't know.
This was fun, guys. Thank you so much for staying so long. I appreciate it very much.
And thanks for the invite, as always, Chrissie.
Oh, love you, Josh. Josh, did you plug yourself? Did I forget you?
Yeah, God,
Okay,
more than I need to.
All right, great.
Nobody's watching my shit.
Just to make sure I didn't forget.
This guy does.
All right,
Josh is yelling at Food Network all day.
Love you all.
Catch
so
my
much.
Food Network show.
Yes,
Everyone.
watch my ginormous food before it gets canceled.
Yes.
All right, love you guys. Until next time, bye.
Bye.
Bye.